your friend, Mike.
What's Mike? Wow.
Freak, he's a slam. Oh, shoot! My wall! Nerf this! Winky fit. Daniel! Let's go! He forked up, Daniel!
Dropping.
Oh, hit end.
Bro, they keep on closing the elevator.
7 days, Sean. 7 days, Sean.
How many beans are in there?
Oh,
Did you hear it?
What the hell? Shoot that dude. I thought he was checking his watch.
Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going? Mike here, just looking to hit some headshots. Don't worry about it.
no wiggle at all. Like it's strong. It's a strong tickle.
Oh my god. Good shit. Are you? Oh, there's another dude to rap, man. You don't have a magnum, do you?
Yeah.
I can't.
So good.
Oh, hey, Matt. I'm Shroud. It's your friend, Mike.
What's Mike? Wow.
Freak, he's a slam. Oh, shoot! My wall! Nerf this! Winky fit. Daniel! Let's go! He forked up, Daniel!
Dropping.
Oh, hit end.
Bro, they keep on closing the
Hit
elevator.
end. 7
Sean. 7 days, Sean.
How many beans are in there?
Oh,
Did you hear it?
What the hell? Shoot that dude. I thought he was checking his watch.
Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going? Mike here, just looking to hit some headshots. Don't worry about it.
Got rhythm. Nope. Hey. Brain. Beat up. It's like no wiggle at all. It's like it's strong. It's a strong tickle.
Oh my god. Good shit. Are you? Oh, there's another dude to rap, man. You don't have a magnum, do you?
Yeah.
I can't.
So good.
Oh, hey Matt. Happy birthday. I'm Shroud. It's your friend, Mike.
That's
send you a mouse.
Mike. Wow. Freak, he's gonna slam. Oh, shoot! My wall.
Nerf this! Winky fit. Daniel! Let's go! He forked up, Daniel!
Yo. How's it going? How's it going? What's up, Dave? What's up, Laser? What the heck is up? What the heck is up? Log it in. Log it in. No, dude, it's like 8 minutes. Technically longer. Technically longer. Technically longer. Dude, all my YouTube videos are getting blocked and stuff. They're getting blocked. None of this music is safe. No music is safe, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dave, for sure. 4 days? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, I will. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's a lot of stuff coming up, to be honest. There's just so much. There's just so much. There's just so much. I hope it's good. It would be really cool if it is good. So far, a lot of them have missed the mark for me, but obviously that doesn't matter, right? Like, that doesn't freaking matter, dude. No, Laser, no. I'm still in the same build. April, May, you better keep up. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my best. No new build. Same build. Lightning Strike. I have my build in POB now, so at least I can like try to see my damage properly. My damage is like not that sick, but we trying. Yeah. Bigger bells, more bells, bigger balls. Balls. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? I could definitely make my build better. It's definitely like inefficient right now. I feel like I'm a little split. Boom. I feel like I'm a little split.
We have a liftoff.
Whoa. Balls, shutter speeds. What the heck? Dude, T1? 10 months? Shutter speeds. What in the world? What's up? Thank you for the T1. What the hell? Yeah. What the hell? Dude, yeah, thank you very much, dude. I appreciate that. Hopefully you're doing well, Shutter Speeds. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. Yeah, dude, we're all about balls. We got balls everywhere. Yeah, hey, well, that is very kind, Shutter Speeds. I really do appreciate that. Thanks for the 10 months. Let's go. I mean, hey, I play a lot of different games, and I know not all the games are for everybody, you know, but hey, we'll play Tarky again. We'll play some Delta Force again.
Liftoff.
We'll play all the
have a
games again.
liftoff.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we like to keep it a little fresh over here. Whoa, what the heck? Hold on. Let me give some Wang Shutter Speeds. 5 subs. Dude, what the heck? Let me give some rockets. Yeah, so we're just starting here, you know? Just starting. It is workout day. And it is grilling hot dog days over a fire pit. Dude, thank you so much, Shutter Speeds. Big love. Boom, 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 boom. Dude, thank you very much for 5 subs. Let's freaking go. That's awesome. Thank you. I got a pretty decent memory for people. For people. Don't mind my homeless look. This is the PoE look. Yeah, that's my wangs, dude. That's my wang. Look, my memory for like individuals is pretty decent. Actually, I'm pretty good at like remembering details, but overall my memory's crap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is PoE. Let me put my watch on the charger. Yeah, this is Path of Exile. This game is it's an ARPG. So like you have your character, you're getting loot, you're getting gear, crafting it up, killing just a bunch of mobs. That's literally it. But it's a good time. You know, it's a good time. But yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea because it is slow. There's like a lot of downtime, right? I'll just sit here in my stash, look at my gear, see what I can craft, look at the freaking spreadsheets, you know, look at the spreadsheets, see what we can do to maximize DPS. Yeah, this game is not for everybody. So we'll be back to Tarky though for sure. Just probably when it wipes realistically. The new event's pretty sick though. I don't know if you've seen it. Shutter Speeds is awesome. And what's up, Chaser? How are you doing? What the heck is up? Yeah, no joke. We're just getting started though for the day. It is gym day, so I'll probably be ending around like 7:30, I think, just for the gym. Yeah, overall though, we're freaking, what is it? We're on T11 maps right now, but honestly, I don't know if I can do T11 maps. I did a T10 last night. I mean, I'll have to try it out. My damage, I'm definitely starting to see my damage fall off. Not when there's a bunch of mobs, but when there's only a few mobs, I definitely start to see it now. And you never played one. Yeah, if you're ever gonna play, if you like ARPGs and you wanted to play Path of Exile, but it was just like way too overwhelming, Path of Exile 2 is the version for you. But I will say right now, this current patch is very difficult. It's undoubtedly like a bad patch. Okay, I don't think it's objectively a bad patch. I think it is a bad patch. If you do want to play, you can try, but the balance is really off right now because they, for whatever reason, they decided to nerf almost everything. So the game is like it's taking people like 20 hours to complete the campaign. It took me like 23 hours to beat the campaign. You know what I mean? Like, but I would say if you do want to play Path of Exile, PoE 2 is the play. It's a lot more simplified than PoE 1. You just have way less mechanics. It's a lot more straightforward. It's still going to be a learning curve, but it's nowhere near PoE 1 because PoE 1 has like 10 years of updates, right? And you have like 10 years worth of mechanics in each league, essentially, including the new one. So there's a lot, but in PoE 2, it's kind of a fresh start. But right now, the game is in a weird place where the campaign is a big, big, big struggle. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend it right now in its state. They're actually going to be doing an interview today. With the dudes that are developing the game. And they're going to, hopefully, Zazarian, the person that's interviewing them, ask them, what the hell were they thinking? So at least maybe we'll get some insight today, maybe for what some future changes they'll make. They did release patch notes last night talking about they're going to make the map smaller and stuff like that, but who knows when, all that stuff, yada, yada, you know? But yeah, PoE 2 is a good time, dude. It's, you know, I like it personally. I'm a fan of Path of Exile, though. Huge fan of Path of Exile 1. I like what they're doing. Just this very moment, this patch is just not the most noob-friendly. That's the biggest thing. What's up, Domingo? I quit Tarky, man. It's just too much. Can't do its full-time gig. So is PoE casual friendly? Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, Path of Exile definitely, most ARPGs are going to be a lot more casual friendly than like Tarkov, right? Aside from just Tarkov's freaking cheating issues and stuff like that, and just the questing, like massive quest stuff like that, right? Yeah, because like you can hop on. You know, like let's say you get to mapping. Let's say you finish the campaign, you get to mapping, which is essentially endgame, right? You know, you're like, oh, I only have 30 minutes. You can probably knock out a few maps and get some gear and maybe get some progress if you're lucky. Yeah, I mean, most ARPGs are going to be more casual friendly. But if you are looking for an ARPG shutter speeds and you want it to be like a learning experience, honestly, Diablo 4 isn't a bad choice. It's not going to necessarily have the depth of Path of Exile, but it'll get you, it's a lot more casual friendly. And if you are looking for casualness, Diablo 4 might not be a bad place to start. Or there is a new update coming out for Last Epoch. That might be up your alley too. Because right now, Path of Exile is kind of in a weird spot with this patch. So you do have Last Epoch that's coming out with a massive update soon, and Diablo 4 is overall just a more casual experience, which is fine. Like it's not a bad thing at all, you know? Well, look, if he has a full-time gig and then whatever other responsibilities, you know, he might not have much time to game. Path of Exile is definitely going to beat his ass right off the rip. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna put him down, especially right now, right? If it was the last patch, I would say, hell yeah, hop in right freaking now and just start learning. Because you're going to mess up your character. Things aren't going to make sense. You know what I mean? But Diablo 4 is a lot more casual. Last Epoch's a lot more straightforward also, but kind of gives you the PoE taste. You know, they do a good job at that. I did, learning character, then made another one since you know what you're doing now. Yeah, if you play PoE, you're going to mess up your first character. Honestly, you might mess up a lot of characters. A lot of people follow builds for Path of Exile. It's not the easiest thing to make a build that works, to be honest, because there's a million different like things that act off each other. Like what is it? We have freaking what is it? There's like things that just proc off each other, right? I don't know what's a good example, like right off my head. Yeah, like hits, break. These are two different mechanics. It's like you're playing D&D. Hits, different mechanic, break, different mechanic, 50% increased armor, which is armor, with ailments. You have like 4 different mechanics right here with one passive, right? It's just overwhelming in some regards. It's not that bad, but like if you're first starting, you're going to be like, what the hell is this? Even I'm like, what the hell is this? And I have like, how many hours do I have in Path of Exile 1? I don't even know. I don't even freaking know, dude. Yeah, I have 1,100 hours in Path of Exile 1. You know? Crap's crazy. What's up, Bentu? How you doing, Domingo? Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, D4 is just a lot. It respects... It's just a more casual intro to ARPGs, but that has a purpose, and that's great, and that's awesome, and yeah. A lot to learn teaches you nothing. If you don't like spending time learning new things or researching PoE, would be rough for you. Yeah. Like if you don't have a lot of experience with ARPGs, Path of Exile is definitely more difficult to get into. That's why I would suggest like Diablo 4, Last Epoch when their new patch drops soon. Last Epoch kind of gives you the best of both worlds a little bit. Like they are specifically adding quality. Like, dude, PoE is like the Tarkov of ARPGs. That's how it is in my head. Like, they don't teach you anything. They don't show you anything. You're just put in this game. You get your ass beat. But like Diablo 4, Last Epoch, they have quality of life stuff in the game. Last Epoch specifically is developing the game to give a lot of quality of life. A lot of stuff that's not in Path of Exile will be in Last Epoch. You know what I mean? Like, that's like what they're trying to do. So, yeah. It should go hard from what it looks like, Chaser. It should. Yeah, it definitely should. So, but yeah, end rant. I'm just going to be honest with you. Right now, this PoE patch, man, is gonna be rough if you just start out. So I definitely recommend maybe Diablo 4. Only downside of Diablo 4 is like what it's like $70 freaking dollars. Last Epoch I think is a lot cheaper. I think, and has a lot of promise on us. Honestly, Last Epoch, it has a lot of promise. Yeah, $35. Honestly, and it has a lot of potential. You have a lot of classes. It's not going to be as unforgiving. They're making good quality of life updates overall. The game's end game kind of lacks, but apparently the next update is going to add like end game bossing. You know what I mean? So overall, like if you're going to play a new game, I would actually probably recommend Last Epoch. No joke. You have just the freshness and passion from the devs. Diablo 4 is just like a very good looking game, straightforward, very casual, but their updates like, yeah, they're like out of touch. A little bit. They're trying, but they're trying. You know what I'm saying? They're trying. So, but okay, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back, and we're going to start mapping. Because we're trying to push our maps. I think I'm at the limit for my maps, to be honest. I need a new weapon bad, man. And what's up, Lost? How you doing, dude? How are you doing? I'm trying to make my way to... trying to make my way to Corrupted, but dude, I have like no Corrupteds around me. It's actually dog crap. Doggy beans. So right now I'm just gonna make it to this tower. I'm gonna maybe try to get to these 2 towers. I can buff those. I can see what's down here a little bit. I need a new weapon, man. Bad. Getting off work at regular hours is nice. Yeah. How's your new job treating you? Is it good? And can you elaborate on depth? Yeah, Domingo, if you saw this, like, this is just one passive, but it has like 4 different mechanics on it, right? So not only do you have these 4 different mechanics just getting some type of effect together with this passive, that's just one passive, right? And there's just a lot of that in this game where you just have so many specific, what's the right word? Like interactions with skills that it's hard to know like the effects, if that makes sense.
Thought you meant depth
Because like
to
if I
fit
just want
these
more
nuts.
damage,
Thanks for
there's going to be
clarifying.
more things happening because you have like 5 different procs working off of one thing. Okay. All good. All good. All good. Yeah, no problem, Domingo. No problem, dude. Yeah, and that's awesome, Lost. Glad to hear, dude. When's your next D&D session, huh? All right, guys, all my YouTube videos are getting blocked, man. I don't know if I can play music, dude. Actually kind of sucks. But maybe I should play some more music. Maybe I should play some more. Let me bring it up. Because we're just hearing crickets in this bass right now. Hold on. Let me go to my YouTube playlist. You know, all reliable. All reliable. Dude, we ordered... Madeline ordered, like, technically, she ordered, like, 8 bananas. But they gave us 8 bunches of bananas. Dude, we have so many bananas. All right, hold up. Where's my playlist? Where's my music? Where's my music? Where is it? I found it. Yeah, you guys need some bananas? Because I freaking got you. Holy frick. Hold on. We'll switch it up. I'm not trying to put you guys to bed. Go to sleep. Okay. How's the volume here? Is it too low or is it just right? Is it just right? Generate AI music? Dude, I actually, no joke, have messed around at generating like drum and bass and stuff like that. I feel like I suck at it. Maybe I could, Domingo. You think I can start the underground banana market? Okay. Whoops. Okay. So I did switch some stuff up since I have POB up and running. I was messing around with like nodes, seeing how I can increase my damage more. And what I did is I don't know if I'm gonna commit to it, but I got rid of some shock or some electrocute buildup, although I think that might be a mistake. And I got 50% increased lightning damage while affected by Herald of Thunder. So I'm going to see how it feels in these maps coming up. I took out this too, actually, Flash Storm, which is 30% chance to shock, damage penetrates lightning resistance. Just to see how it feels, because on paper I have more damage, but it might make clearing harder. You know, that's the one thing. But we'll have to just see. We'll have to see. Have to see. Oh. Okay. Yeah, actually, I want to see. Yes, doesn't adjust anything yet. Okay. Put this over here. We're just gonna run some basic maps here. I would like to regal them, but I'm a poor man. A poor man right now. I'm a poor man. I might get crapped on here. Let's see. Oh! No, dude. No. Not the freaking... That's my bad. I should have kept just trying to shoot. My XP. Yeah, like I definitely notice I'm not rocking frenzy as much. It's happening, just not like as much as I want. Oh my gosh. Okay. I might be at my limit. My damage just isn't there fully, you know? Like I think I could do this no problem, but if I just die all the time, it's definitely not gonna be worth it. No. No, don't finish Delirium. I'm just getting started, please. No. Ah! Dude. Oh, is my camera frozen? Yeah, it is. There you go. Good comms. Oh, shoot, dude, shoot. I've never died that fast in the map. You guys are pumping. Oh. 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 How's the music volume, by the way, guys? And is stream volume okay? Like, can you hear everything happening? I don't want to die. I want to complete this 11, but dude, I feel like I could maybe try to fix my build a little bit. Sounds good. Okay. All right, we're just gonna play it smart. Get it up. Oh my god, dude! I don't even see it. I couldn't even see it. There's just 1,000 things on the ground. Just 1,000 things on the ground. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know if I'm... Oh, dang it. Like, my damage is alright. It's not bad. My survivability, honestly, could be better. I don't even think I have max... Yeah, I don't even have max, like, res yet. I'm just not really getting any gear.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
I'm just not. Hey, Sega. Hey, what the... Yo, Sega. Thanks for the T1, Sega. Much love, dude. Thank you very much. Big love. Peepo Kissy. That is very kind, Sega. Thank you. Dance of Death node? No, I can take a look at it, though. I got my character inputted to POB, so I can actually mess around with stuff now. If you play Path of Exile, and... Oh my god. If you play Path of Exile, and you kind of have an idea of what's going on, I highly recommend downloading Path of Building PoE 2. Path of Building PoE 2. It's just going to be GitHub release, but it allows you to import your character. You just download it right here, the setup.exe. This has been in the community for a very long time. And, you know, you just import your character. Like, you can link your account or just search up your character, and you just import everything, and then you can see what, like, everything does, right? You can see, like, what the damage effects happen, all that stuff, right? This is, and then if you find an item and you're not sure if it's going to be an upgrade, I could literally just Control C, Control V, and then I can add to build and then just like look at it, right? Like, it has a lot of opportunities here. This is kind of what you do. Hashtag ad? No. I've just been using it for a long time. And thank you very much, Sega. Thanks for the T1. Beautiful rockets. Absolutely stunning rockets. This map, dude, I wish I got delirium longer. Because I kind of... I need the distilled... I need like the distilled things or whatever. So I can anoint an amulet and get a free passive. My YouTube is getting reamed right now, dude. Bitrate issues. Sorry, YouTubers. I'm sorry, YouTubers. Yeah, get him. Up! No, no, no! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
We have a liftoff.
Yeah, dude, I definitely feel
May
like
the
there is
RNG
something
gods bless us today
different.
for massive loots
Yeah,
and
hey,
games.
thanks for watching, Sega. We play a lot of different games, Sega, so I don't know if like Path of Exile is like your main game, Sega, but we play a lot of different stuff here. So hopefully you enjoyed the different content whenever that happens. And Masubi, dude, 2-3? Oh my gosh. 2-3? Yeah, dude, Masubi, I will take that because I need upgrades, Masubi. It's not a joke. I'm going to try to find a way to try to focus some type of gear. Because, yeah, I have some gear that's pretty decent, but I'm all over the place right now. Dude, thank you very much, Masubi. Thank you, Sega. Let me give some wings. Thank you very much. And how you doing, Jaji? What's up, dude? What the heck is up? Welcome, guys. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you very much for the resubs today, guys. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know. You know what, though? But the maps I'm running they're only kind of like blues right now. So, to be fair, like their drop rates aren't going to be crazy. That's why I'm trying to get the corrupted nodes done so I can get more Atlas points. But dude, I have to travel so far. But maybe I can just run like tier 10s or something. Because right now, if these guys hit me, it seems like they just pump my cheeks. And the more you die, that means no levels. Doesn't matter if you like doesn't matter if the gear technically could be better. Like I need levels too, you know? Levels are very important. Once you get to like 86, levels aren't as important, but obviously they're still super important. But it's like your build is kind of like online at that point. So I see you guys. Little rats. Oh, did my music... Oh, my music is playing. Okay. Do you guys even hear the music? I guess it's just lower for me, technically. GG. Finish the tier 11. Finish the tier 11. Yeah, but how you doing, Grizz? What the heck is up, dude? Alright, this map is kind of a dud on drop rate. It is only a blue, though. But it is a dud, ain't gonna lie. Also, I'm gonna try to keep an eye out for maybe rarity gear. Yeah, my damage is pretty solid, so it's not like a damage thing right now. Like it's really not bad. Just my survivability at this tier is not good. You guys hit so hard. I only have 1690 HP too, no ES, just evasion, and even then, all my gear isn't even all evasion. I think. Shield's level 33. It's not a bad shield, don't get me wrong, but I should definitely have a different shield by now, you know? Also, last night I did quality my lightning spear gem because it gives me +2 sparks or whatever. So the little bolts that come out, I have 2 more of those now, which is pretty huge. That is nice. More AoE, the better. More AoE, the better. Give me all this trash. Give me everything. All this garbanzo. Give it to me. Give it to me. Oh my gosh, there's only one elite left, and it's at the end of the map. Can't die. Can't die, folks up. AoE. XP is really good though. I could run just like, if I didn't die here, I'd probably already have like half a level. That's nice on it. That's tempting. XP is pretty good. Maybe I can run more T11s. Just don't get hit. Look, if I don't get hit, I can do anything. If I don't get hit, I can do anything. Gosh, this loot is awful. Are you rocking with an infused weapon? No. No. Speaking of rockets, where do I go to watch Elon Musk stream PoE? He seems like a kick streamer. I don't know if he does it consistently. I just know he like hopped on a little bit. Oh, the freaking shots. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I have no clue, dude. I only saw like a snippet. And no joke, people were just spamming him. They were just spamming some hate, you know what I'm saying? Big map completed. Put it in the books. Don't have to redo it. All right. Yeah, I don't think we got anything. Maybe we should try a yellow tier 11. Oh, I might get fried, though. I got fried already. I got freaking fried already. Chaos resistance is nice. Damn. Tier 9 lightning damage? Holy. No. Oh, yeah, and it has it open. Hold on. What if we got flat fizz on that bad boy? Sheesh. That could be kind of nasty, actually. I can't use it, but... What the? Tier 9 fire damage? Hold up. Kind of curious. Hold on. Oh, dude. Tragic. Tragic. All right, I'm going to slam this just for fun. Okay. Double increased physical. I can't tell if that's like decent or not. I feel like Pog. I'm going to throw it in the Pog. Throw it in the Pog. I can't use it, but I'll throw it. I don't know if it's a Pog, but throw it in there. Regardless. And take out these omens. Put these distilled ires in there. Put them next to each other. Gosh, I just have so much random crap. Ooh. Actually, oh, elemental resistance, that will stop my buildup, but maybe we do it. Okay. Number of trials 3. Completing Ascendancy trial will grant additional Ascendancy skill. I need to do that. I need my new Ascendancy. Let's hit this tower real quick. I don't know if I use a tier 11. I only have one left. Maybe use a tier 10. Nice little tier 10. Okay. Put it in. Oh. Wait, no, we might actually... Wait a minute. Can I just use like a juiced out tier 5? And then unlock multiple tablet slots? Yeah, that's probably the strat, right? Yeah. I think. I don't know if it matters on the tier. Does anyone in chat know if the tier of my map matters for the tower? Or is it only the amount of mods on the map? Actually, I don't know. Oh yeah, this is light work here. Shock buildup. Dude, yeah. Dude, part of me wants shock buildup, actually. Guys, tanky AF. Tanky AF. I can just have frenzy at all times. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got the gamble box. Oh, I got the gamble box. This could be huge. Dude, I don't have 200k though. Oh my gosh, I don't have 200k. I'm only able to roll it like twice. Or once. Okay, chat. Pick up all the gold. Nah, there's just no way I'm gonna get a lot of gold. Okay. Here's the gamble box, chat. So we could get something sick here. Or we get literally nothing. Gamble, gamble, gamble. Okay. ID it. Yeah, I should have actually maybe. No! 19,000 gold. Can I actually like buff these? Or... No! Alright, that's it. GG. 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 That was my first one. That's cool. I probably should have. I don't know if I can buff them because they're unique, but I probably should have. A breach. I actually get literally no loot from these class lands. I thought they're guaranteed breach shards. Big. Big.
I need more time.
No, dude. Okay. Take all this. Take it all. Take it all. ID it. Yeah, well, so if I ID'd it, what could I have done anything with it though, Jaji? Because it is a unique one. Yeah, it is a unique one. So like, would I actually be able to do anything? Going up. What if we find another one? Ah, dude, yeah, I mean, I could use another shield at this point. I'm not even parrying very often. I would like to parry because I feel like it can give me a free hit from a boss or something like that, but... Or at least survive, like, help me survive.
I need a moment to prepare.
Move it, move it! That was cool. Okay. Tower open, 2 tabbies on it. Not bad, not bad. You don't need shield if you use the Dance of Death node. Oh, yeah, let me take a look at that. Dance of Death. Oh, yeah, I saw this. Yeah. I actually did see this. But, dude, if I lose the shield, that's a lot of defense bent to. I can get, like, I can have, like, huge resistances on my shield, you know what I mean? And then focus damage on other pieces, technically. I did see this, though. I did see it. You just lose a lot of defense. And I would like to use this accuracy shield unique if I can find it. But here, I can see the damage difference it'll do. So, if I got the node... Oh, Doesn't tell me any. Huh. It should tell me the difference, but it's saying there's no difference. I don't know if it's a glitch or... It should tell me exactly like the difference, but... We're doing all right. We're doing all right, weirdo. We're doing all right, dude. Not bad. Like, we're just going through the grind. I need crap, dude. I need crap. What else can I say? I need crap. I need crap. I need crap. Not the worst. Physical damage is mana. I mean, my rings are like some of the best things on me, though. Unfortunately, I mean it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. It's not like any of my stuff's like bad. It just like it could be better. The spell's pretty decent actually, but just could be better. Could be better. I do have some decent gear though. Just it's not like focused very well. My chest piece definitely could be way better, dude. Wait, my vision's only 37%? Huh. I need more spirit. If I can get spirit on an Ami and my chest, then I could have wind. Then I can have... Oh. Wait, where is it? I could have Wind Dancer on. But I need how much spirit? I need 30 spirit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, honestly, I don't need much more spirit. If I can get this to 50 spirit and then just a random spirit on somewhere else, to be chilling. I do think there is a world where you could use a scepter. I don't know who said that in chat, but they're like, what if you use the scepter as your offhand? I feel like there's a world that could weirdly work. And then if I had a scepter, I could also do like multiple beasts with multiple auras. Like my own personal auras. And then what if you just start going crazy? Antonio Banderas. Antonio Banderas. You think I look like Antonio Banderas? You think that this guy, like, we look the same? Kilu. Yes. Dude, what? You're on the Kush. You're on the Kush. All right, let's take a look at the maps around me. Oh, there's no tower here without... Oh, there's no tower. We got corruption, but there's no tower here showing the corruption. Okay, I feel like I should try to grab... I feel like I should try to grab this other tower. Then I can like juice these frickin' things. I can juice them. Where's my stuff? There it is. There's my stuff. Ritual would be good, I think. Gives me a chance of uniques. I mean, irradiated wouldn't be bad, just to have a chance to. I mean, delirium could be decent too. Delirium, dude, but it could be better. Yeah, there's like, I mean, I guess there are enough map. Dude, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe just all the maps will get hit with delirium. Should I do irradiated and expedition? No, should I do delirium and expedition? I do, because I need Ix. Damn, that's a 15er though. 12 maps. Maybe these two. Then can I do anything to them? Oh, I can. Explosive radius in your maps. Can I regal them? No. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, I I mean, I guess. Let's just see what happens. Dang. So we got expeditions. We have deliriums. Yeah. And then I could grab this one, even add more crap. But, dude, there's like this whole void here. Maps. A hideout. What hideout is this? I want this hideout. What the hell is this? A ham? Forge. What the hell's a forge? Is that just a map? No. No. Okay. Maps. Maps. Oh, nice map. Nice map. Not bad. We'd love to see it. I wish I would have. Oh, should I do expedition? Oh, I'm torn. I'm torn. Honestly, ritual delirium. That would be kind of sick. A lot of mobs. I do want expedition though. Nah, frick it. But hold up, you're back real quick, dude. Okay, Jaji. Okay. Yeah, that's my pet. He's giving me a haste buff. He's a demon monkey. The demon monkey. Big old demon monkey. I like games that give you ability to summon dark creatures. Necromancer is my favorite class as always. Oh, class always, dude. I mean, you could do that in this for sure. Actually, yeah, you could have multiple beasts. There's necro, there's minion builds, dude. There's a lot of that crap in this. 100%. Scary. Can't see. There's just crap everywhere. Crap everywhere. Gotta go. Gotta go. Ah! Need to kill yellows, I think. Or fight them. Oh my gosh, I wasn't looking. Gotta go. Delirium is on the line. Yeah, dude, I need to proc. Or electrocute though. No! 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 Crap, dude. Not strong enough. Need to pump harder. Shoot fire, smoke metal, dude. I tried to go so hard, dude. I tried to go so hard. I think I have to really kill yellows to like keep that going. Usually it's just fighting just like mobs in general, but it seems like now it's like I need to kill yellows if I want it to keep owning. Yes. Yeah, I'm just not proccing electrocute as much as I want to. I did take out like 20% increase boost to it, so that definitely can be it. I'm gonna finish the map and then I'll come back and do all the scrap. Damn. Because if I proc Frenzy, I get 50% more damage, which is a pretty big deal. And it does just big AoE too, because it'll proc Shock. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna run these maps. We're just gonna try to push stuff, you know, simple as that. Get the corrupted done, get Atlas points. Atlas points are gonna be really important, so that'll give me just nice passives.
Oh my gosh, are you ready to listen to the vision?
Oh, is it happening?
Yeah, in like 15 minutes.
Nice, okay. Where's this guy? Big. Oh, Commander Gauntlet. Why did it look like? Why did it have the red outline? I forgot what that means. Big. All right, map done. Ritual. Go next. Go next. Why do those Commander Gauntlets?
This is going to be an awesome interview or a letdown, depending on how hard this goes at him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even he was like, well, what do they think they're doing? So hopefully he brings that to the table in like a respectable way that like lets him feel comfortable to answer.
Respectful, obviously.
Yeah. He knows what to do. I feel like he knows what to do. He's been doing this long enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he would ever burn the bridges of GGG and just be a dick to them.
No, of course. I mean, he's just not a dick as far as like I know. Anyways,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Now, if you got Rue on there, I don't know. He might go crazy. He would just suck his mic all day or something, for what I've seen.
I don't think they would ever interview him.
Yeah, probably not. Oh.
Joke he made it before. That's good.
Yeah, dude, after you guys told me about Rue, I went and just saw a bunch of random clips of him. That guy is freaking crazy. He is crazy, dude. Go, 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 go! Ooh, I know a song I can play. I know a song I can play, actually. Where's my ritual? There's 4 rituals? One? That one? There has to be one over here. There has to be. Yep. Damn, that guy's tanky. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Scary. 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 Okay, two more. Two more. And there should be a strong box down here also, so. More dudes, half level. Not bad. We take those. XP's not the craziest here, but that's okay. That's okay.
Need more time.
Yeah, my electricity buildup is kind of dog crap now after I took it. Reduced it only by like even like 20-30% or something. Big. Okay. Anything sick nasty? Not looking good, gang. Not looking good. Add only a suffix modifiers. Not looking good. Only have 1,000 points too. Gosh, that's bad. That's bad. Steepa. I need this. I need all my regals. Minus 25% increase damage from Dance of Death. Just tested it. Yeah, well, for me, it doesn't say that I was gonna lose anything or gain anything. So, like, I don't know how to read that. You know? Oh, it's corrupted.
Mike's playing Schedule 1.
Is he?
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, dang. Big rarity. Good life. Tiny all res. I could hit it. I could hit it. I would lose a decent amount of res. I would lose damage. But I would gain rarity. I mean, actually, I could do the Eagle Chris. I could do this one. Actually, maybe, I'm telling you, maybe rarity might be the play right now.
Oh, did you ever check any that Gary gave you to see like what level it is?
Yeah, it's all like decently high. Well, it depends now. Like, what level are you now?
48.
48. Yeah, you could probably wear some of the stuff. Yeah, there's a 40. Yeah, there's level 48, 59. So you have 44, 44, 48. I could put the helmet and the chest piece in there. Then
What was the belt I had? Do you remember?
yeah, it's this one I'm wearing right
Are
now.
you wearing it?
Yeah, I'm wearing
Oh,
it right now.
Keep it on, keep it on, keep it on.
Are you sure? Because I gave it back.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Anything I gave you and you're using it's yours now. It's not mine anymore.
Okay. Well, there. I have the helmet and the chest piece in there, and then you don't need your crossbow, right? Or do you?
No, I don't need.
Yeah, I could give you.
The helmet's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Well, here, and there's the gloves too, just in case. It's still.
I can't use gloves. I have unique gloves I have to wear.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, already got this. Chance shard.
Sweet.
Hit it. Hit this. Ooh, that's nice. We swap it out.
Rings with lots of flat elemental damage. It's pain.
Yeah, dude. Did I show you that I got what I got yesterday? Look at this. Look at these.
No.
I slammed. They had 2 flat damages, then I slammed the third. Look at those.
Those are pretty disgusting if you don't need. That's nice.
Yeah, right. Like, what the hell?
Oh, it started.
Did it start? All right. Tell me what happens. How long are the interviews usually? Have you watched them in the past?
I don't know. Like an hour usually.
3 div item for that gutter? It might be worth more, to be honest. I actually have no clue. I have no clue. It's pretty nasty though. It is Pretty nasty. Like they're all high roll. Like it's fire too. A lot of people use lightning. A lot of people do fire. Physical's obviously generally good. 3 decent reses. You're not watching the interview. I technically don't know if I'm like allowed to watch it. I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't matter, but yeah. I mean, dude, I got a map, man. I got a map. I could watch the interview though. I could. I could watch the interview. I could watch it. Who'll be interviewing? We're going to be interviewing the devs, Angry. We're going to be interviewing the stream that's interviewing the devs. Think about it. Think about it. Think of the possibilities. You know? How you doing, Angry? What's up, man? Where's this guy? Uh oh. No. Pancake died. You're back. You're back, Pancake. Dude, Pancake honestly is hella clutch. Yeah, dude. See, look at my damage. I need more damage. If I had more damage, it solves all my problems. Can you believe it? All right. Did we get anything good? We only have 1,700 points. There's literally like nothing good here. I feel like I should just reroll. And I did. Somebody stop him. Exalt. We take those. I could watch the interview. At least some of it. All right, GG. Halfway to the next level. Not bad. Not even 7 a.m. and you've been live for over an hour. You crapped the bed or something? No, man. What do you mean? I technically was late. I was late. I was on earlier yesterday, Angry. I was on earlier yesterday, bud, pal guy. Is it just on Tazarian's channel?
Yeah.
What can I do for my gear? Honestly, we did get rare. We have rarity now, so I'm kind of stoked about that. But my resistance, dude, my shield. My shield is where I'll get like all my resistances. I need. Maybe I gamba some bucklers real quick.
He's kind of dodging everything right now.
You might be warming up, dude. You might be bringing them in tight to like slam them. You know?
Like, it says just ask them how long do you want the campaign to take, and he just refuses to answer it, essentially.
Oh, potential. What are my omens? What omens do I have? I don't. No, I don't think I need block chance. Crap.
I'm not excited with the two answers he's given so far. It's just dodging.
Oh. Oh gosh. Okay, lightning dam. I mean, you know what? It's an upgrade. It is an upgrade. It is an upgrade. We'll take those. Whatever. It is an upgrade. I don't know why that takes off my gems. It is an upgrade. It's not the best upgrade, but it is an upgrade. What are our resistances at now? Fire. I should do that. Like out of fire gems, I think. Stuff. Fire. Big. Yeah. 64. Actually, yeah. Okay. Overall better. Overall better. I probably need to actually look at my skill gems now. I actually haven't upgraded any of my gems for a while. Let me check this. Let me check this. He was on earlier to surprise me. Old man time, so he'll be in bed right after 4 p.m. supper. Dude, we have workout today. And then we're grilling hot dogs in the fire pit.
Damn, this is actually kind of going in.
What is... Oh, Marvel Rivals Season 2? Like, he's going in?
This just... Jonathan started the talk partway through his questions. This was like, let me finish my
what the hell? We
my
didn't even
question.
nerf the campaign.
Just
Like,
cut him
literally,
off.
that's what a lot of developers were saying. We didn't nerf this. Why is everyone saying we nerfed it? And so like then it's like, well, we found a few things, but like we're still looking for what those things are. And like it's not always necessarily obvious with all the changes that you make and things, because I can absolutely tell you that our goal here was nerf the end game, right? Like nerf the well, no, it wasn't even nerf the end game. What it was nerf the things that were trivialized.
We'll see what
the end
happens.
game before you've
Ooh,
even
who are you talking to? My friend Patrick.
you know, like
So,
items and
I
stuff.
was
It's
watching
really
some
really
porno. I'm fully
Turn it up.
torqued. Super hard. The rhythm
Gosh dang it.
impeccable.
What a
Then
beat
I
your
got a
Australian
notification
cheeks.
on my phone and I accidentally pressed it.
Okay.
Now my penis
Oh
is
my
soft and I'm here now. God damn it.
Okay.
Time to play Kazan, I guess.
Go play
Thanks,
Kazan,
Matthew.
dude.
Those were incredibly terrible.
Go
Those
play
were just
Kazan.
fuck-ups. And the thing is, it's so easy for shit for like that to slip through.
Well, we have a bit of a...
Go play it. Get out of here,
Digi.
Digi.
It's a little bit of like, it's early access, so we're allowed.
Get out of
like
here.
Firing from the hip a lot here. And the stuff like that, like, let's get it in there, let's try it out, see how people think, and if it's bad, we just undo it, right? Like, we do regress on a decent number of things in the first few days of a release, and so, yeah, there are some pretty blatant fuck-ups. So, yeah, that's exactly what happened with the rare minion life. It was like, what the... Why are now... I don't know why it felt this way, but 100% it was the case that the minions was, for some reasons, the rare minions were surviving longer than the rare often, and it's like, well, it doesn't they don't have anywhere near as much life as the rare, and then again, once people got enough AoE and all of that, it solved it, but it was just a bad experience. There was just nothing good about that.
Right. I think there was definitely a compounding of a few factors that were like on their own relatively small. But the thing is that if, and this is the question that I have is that like if people are still having a bad time during the campaign, if they're starting fresh now, because bear in mind as well that people will have an experience and then we'll change the
Get
balance
outta
behind
here.
them, and then they still remember that the experience was bad, and they're not playing it again to know that it got better. So the thing is, if you're
How long
playing
are
it
these
again and
interviews?
still having a bad experience in the campaign, then that would be a thing where it's like, okay, well, where are the campaign nerfs actually? Like, we
Give
have to
me
find
my
them.
back eye. You're like the current patch
Oh my
of
God.
total hard, but never pumping out the juice.
That we're sort of aware of left. And I think like that one just means that,
Okay,
yeah,
I can
give
there
examples.
might still be issues.
Yeah.
Switch to greater than
so
your
the-
Shut
face.
up,
So
Digi.
number one,
Damn
especially
it.
to me, most oppressive thing is the relative speed of monsters compared to our abilities to set things up.
Frickin'
Like, whenever
A, dude.
you're
But
talking,
hang on, but that's not a thing that changed though.
no, but that's been continuously bad. It doesn't matter if it's changed or not.
Okay,
It's-
sure. But what I'm saying is that, but okay, but so this is an
Well,
example.
I
that,
think that
Yeah,
has
like
changed.
But that's just an example of something that's bad. So what I'm saying is that's not a thing that changed. So like, if you're talking about like, is it your intention to nerf the campaign?
But
then
we
no,
are
because
weaker now,
we
right? A
didn't do
lot
that.
of
But if you're saying
skills-
that's bad, I mean that's a different question, right?
A lot of skills are weaker now, right? They're
people are on
retuning down
edge.
A lot of things and things that people are starting with.
Yeah,
weren't
this
necessarily
is
strong.
more
So that
contentious than I've
relative speed of the
ever seen one of
monsters
these interviews.
feels extra
Yeah.
bad. Like you want
You know
to
they're
set
feeling
up these
attacked for
combos
sure,
and
dude.
stuff, right? Where we're throwing down like a cyclone and trying to do like a combo move, but the monsters are way too fast. They're rushing us. It's not even like the bosses are
So
the
the-
main problem, right? Like if you're seeing
So we
like
can-
clips.
Yeah, so let's talk about the monster.
Yeah,
thing.
I
So
mean,
one
they
of the
probably
issues
have
that
read all the
we
hate
have is
gutter.
that if
It's, I mean, it's probably a
monsters are
lot,
slower
to
than
be
the
honest.
player, then combat is
You can
optional.
read 50 good
Like,
things,
it's
but that
100%
one
the
bad
case.
thing
Like, you
has
cannot-
more weight.
What you,
It's
if
just
you,
how,
if the monsters are slow, like
you know,
anytime the
it
monsters are
sucks.
slower than the player,
It's just kind of
then
how
you
it
can
works
just run past
sometimes.
them and they serve no, like they don't like.
But it's just all
effectively,
hate.
you can just choose whether or not to engage or not, and like I don't think that kind of gameplay is good. Now there will probably be some areas like, and the thing is, a lot of the time when people talk about stuff like this, it's like there'll be a few areas that are bad. Like
Yeah,
I know
Gutter,
there are
it probably
definitely a few
sucks
areas
ass,
where,
you know?
like too many of the monsters are
It's
fast.
not
The
like your
Farad are a
intention
good
to make a
example of
bad
that, where,
product or anything.
when you go to the last areas of Act 2.
Right now, yeah,
like, the
Digi,
Farad
right
are
now,
just
yeah.
really, really fast, and there's kind of nothing slow
I
in
definitely
the
don't
area, so
recommend
that's an
going
example
into
where,
it
like, we probably
right now,
wanna make some
Digi.
I mean,
changes
to
there.
get more specific, like
Yeah.
I'm actually, I have someone right now.
Mapping is
literally
definitely
going
going to
through
be
the
like
areas,
better than the
all areas
campaign,
in
but
the campaign
overall,
and
it just
listing
doesn't
all the
feel. It
areas
doesn't
that have
feel
a
very
disproportionately
rewarding.
high number of monsters that are too swarmy or too fast.
What the
We're
hell?
doing it literally
Angry?
as we speak.
Dude.
And my intention after this is to go through, and so like, I mean, a good example is like the canopy, right?
Yeah,
The
for
canopy.
sure.
The monsters are real fast, and then not only that, you're in a ritual with them in a tight confined space, and it just you end up in this kind of moving around with packs. So if you're not fast enough to kill everything, yeah, you just get absolutely swarmed, and yeah.
I guess I'm
But
a
the thing,
little.
but just to
well,
follow, just to continue with that though, I just want to mention that like one of the issues we run into is like
Jonathan's on the left.
people
Is that
say,
Jonathan?
Oh, you
Yeah.
know, like things should never be faster than the player and that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, if we did that, then the game would feel pretty lame. So it really is a question of like targeted changes, like finding where the worst things are and then solving that issue.
I really disagree with that. So you were saying like if the monsters are slower than the player, then combat is optional. But like it's an ARPG. We want to kill the monsters. That's where all the loot is. That's where our XP is. Like sure, you'll have some speedrun scenarios where people are running past them, but usually what ends up happening is that we're running past them.
Dude, yeah, they're
well, bunching them up in
this
a
patch
large
is like
bunch and killing a bunch of
they
them. And
nerfed
that just feels really good. That's a core
everything
part of
angry.
ARPGs
Like
for
it's
a lot
not a
of
joke.
people.
Like they
So I don't
nerfed
think that being
everything
faster than the
hard.
monster is as bad as you think
So
it is. Like,
everything
we
is just
actively
okay.
want to kill
Most
monsters. That is
builds
the
are
entire
just
premise.
crap for the most part. And the campaign
Well, I
is,
don't
dude, it took me
necessarily disagree
23
with you
hours to beat the
gathering
campaign.
killing is
When
fun.
usually
I
it's
think you
like
should still be able to do that.
maybe 12 hours,
But I would
8
I,
hours.
as I said, I don't think anything about the fact
But that's
that
like
some
me
monsters are faster
having
than the player
time to
against
play
that. I don't think you can
and
have
knowing
areas
how to
where everything
play,
is slower than the
right?
player. Like it really isn't that.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah.
Great. In
What's up,
Period
Croc? Just an
1,
interview.
In the distant past, we had that problem, and it just meant that running past monsters was the thing you did all the time. And then there were some changes, like I don't know how many years ago it was, like what was it, 4 years or something like that? When was the Act 1 like thing? Like we made changes where we made a lot of monsters faster than the player, and at the time, and that wasn't negatively perceived at the time. It just made the monsters feel better that we had there. So like you absolutely can have monsters faster than the player, and I do think it's important to have those kinds of situations.
Well,
Like
if you're
it
talking
just
about
Sure,
shouldn't be that
Croc.
it's like it's just that like you need to make sure
Yeah,
you're getting
dude.
the balance
Yeah.
right. And I think that that's like a running theme with PoE 2 in general is that the target to hit is smaller. Like because if we want the combat to be more engaging, then that
Well,
means there's a
PoE
smaller
usually
target
once
that,
you get to
like,
maps,
it
like
puts
you
more
suck
pressure on
ass,
the balance to
but
be right.
that's when the power
And so
starts
I
to
think
come,
that's the
right?
main
But right
issue
now
we're
it's
running
like you
into,
don't
is
feel
just that,
very
like,
powerful unless
the-
you're running very
like,
specific
it's okay
builds.
if everything if
And of course, usually there's like
if-
giga
if-
strong
okay, so
builds, really
this is
crap
sort of a
builds, but
larger
like
topic, right?
a
But
lot of
effectively,
stuff
like,
is crap.
in PoE 1, there are so many tools that the knowledge ceiling is absolutely
What's up, Red High?
astronomical.
I
And so you
got
have
you.
a situation where a good player
Liquid
can
of
completely
sleep.
dominate everything to like the absolute nth degree, right? Now what that means is that you've
I
got a
didn't Red High.
scenario where the game seems like an impenetrable mountain to a new player because like if you don't know what you're doing, the game is just like impossible to understand. And it's like there's all these tools that you can use to improve yourself, but the existence of everything like that and like having such a huge skill ceiling means that you can just trivialize the game right at the start. And so like what that also means though is that like if we get balance numbers wrong, like if a monster has like double life by accident in PoE 1, it like doesn't even really matter. Whereas if a monster has double life in PoE 2, it matters a lot. And so what I'm saying is that the threshold for what is right is like way tighter in PoE 2, and so that means it will just take longer to balance and get it all correct. But it really is the case, I think, that that it's getting all those numbers right that kind of makes it like that.
I'm
will
doing
make
all
the
right,
combat
Bread High.
ultimately fun at the
I
end
hope
of the
you
day.
get
And like if we're doing our job
a
correctly, then
big
we'll still
job,
have
maybe
this
CEO
situation where a good
of
player feels like
NyQuil.
they dominate and a bad
Know what I'm
player
saying, Bread High?
feels that they have a good time.
Give me
But
some
we won't
sleepy
have a situation
juice.
where if you're a good player,
Sleepy
the
liquid.
combat is so trivialized that you literally never have a moment where you're in any danger or having any kind of like level of like sort of interest going on.
Yeah,
And
I
think
bet,
that's the
Croc.
worry that we have when we're looking at things is like if we get to the point where like a good player never has to face a single challenge ever, then I don't think that that's going to be a game that will ultimately be fun in the long term. And so that's kind of like, and like, so that is to me the reason, like what I fear happening if we just like say, okay, we're just gonna like lower everything and make it easy. And that, once again, that isn't to say that we shouldn't necessarily, like maybe Monster Life does have to come down. Like if we're in the wrong band, we just need to lower it and that's fine. Like we will get to the point where that is fun, but we'll do that by while still making sure that we have a good experience for, you know, like well, ideally for everyone, right? Like it should be the case that is balanceable to that way.
Dude, I'm not
It's just a lot
sleeping, Bread
harder in
High.
PoE2 context.
Well, I think a large portion
not
want,
sleeping,
like, bosses
man.
to be what is the challenging content, whereas right now it's almost the reverse, where there's so many clips of like people like dodge rolling away from like
Not
past
sleeping,
players, they're getting
man.
chased down, maybe not having
Wake
a counter
up.
player, and they're like, oh my god, I'm just
I
getting
I
chased
think
down
he
so
answered that
bad."
well,
And
Hanau,
also I
but
sorta
I do think he's
disagree
out of
on the
touch if
Act 1
he
changes in
played the
PoE1
current
not being
campaign. It
negatively
feels like
received. I
crap,
do
man.
remember there was quite a lot of people that
Like it
really
isn't
didn't
fun
like that.
because you're just gatekept by getting a good
because
weapon,
of what you
and that's just
mentioned
pure
with,
RNG.
like
And
the
that's if
faster
you know
monsters
even
is
like what
generally
you're
a bad
looking
thing.
for. You know?
So I definitely do disagree with that.
Like it's
because
objectively just crap.
I'm like to have things to
No,
actually
it's
go
not
and start
objectively
to
crap,
address.
it's just
Like,
crap.
Can I get a gauge on what you think is like where in the game it starts to become a problem, or do you think it's like just straight out of the gate?
Straight
Just 'cause
out of the
again,
gate. Like even the second zone, like the first zone might be okay, but the second zone with the wolves, it's like pretty like instant where I don't feel like I'm getting that like ARPG playstyle.
But won't we be hurting more players than we're helping with that?
By making
Like, won't
monsters
that
slower?
immediately make it? Yeah, won't that immediately mean that like a ton of players who actually enjoy the game because the combat is engaging immediately, like, what doesn't it kill the game for them?
Dude, that's like
what I'm
5
saying is, like,
people.
it's easy to say like, oh, you make the game.
It's
easier and
like
everyone's
5
happy, but it
people,
isn't the
man.
case. Like a lot of people prefer the game.
That's
to, like actually have some challenge in it.
I don't know. Is it? I mean,
Like, for
I guess I
example,
don't
right,
have
so here's the
numbers,
thing, right?
but
So every night I go home and I play, and I like do test runs of everything, right? And it's like if we made it so that there
I
wasn't
feel
any
like
challenge
he's
for me
just
in
that's a
Act 1, I
defensive
wouldn't
answer.
play the
But
game
maybe I'm
anymore.
wrong,
And
dude.
that doesn't
Maybe
help
the
me
numbers
anymore,
show
right? Like, I
that
need to
people
keep
do
playing
like
the game
it.
every night
I
to
don't
actually
know.
enjoy myself. It's like if I'm not enjoying myself, then it's like how can I even develop the game correctly? So on some level, it's like it has to be fun for me. And I know that if you
Dude, the
like,
campaign
if-
is
if-
like
if-
ass
if
right now.
you
It's dog crap.
get to the point of having
Like no one's
everything
playing
just
for the
trivial, it's
campaign,
like,
dude.
well,
Okay,
like, why are we
sure,
even
some
playing this
people,
anymore?
but the majority are
So
playing
there
for
has to be,
end game
like, There has
PoE.
to be some level of challenge. Now,
There's just a lot. There's a,
Like if I have to do the campaign and it's like 20 hours every time, I just won't play.
I know I have.
I'm not.
seen
I'll
the
just play
feedback
PoE 1.
of
As much as I hate to
Act
say it, because like
1
I
minus
like
Canopy
PoE
and
2.
Mana
But
feel
no way,
generally
dude.
good
Like
on
I'm
the
not
pacing,
playing for
the
the
speed of
campaign.
monsters. You feel like you can almost do no-hit runs, is like kind of what people have said.
Yeah, but that's not what
And then you
PoE
get to Act
is,
2,
Digi.
and it's not
The
too bad at
whole
the very
game is
start,
based
and then
around
you get to
end
the,
game
like,
mapping,
Alani
and that's
Gates,
where
and it's
all
like,
of
okay,
like the
now
culmination of
everything's
everything
gone
comes
off the
together, and you can
reservation.
really start to
And
build.
And then
Like
you get
there's the
so
Titan Valley.
I've
you
seen
don't
a-
do
I've
that
seen
in
a
the
decent
campaign.
specs
Most of the
like that, and I
mechanics in the game
100%
aren't
wanna
even
fix that.
available
Like,
in the
so,
campaign.
That's why I was asking you for your example, because there's just
They're
a lot of people
available
on
only
different
after mapping.
spectrums here that want different things, and so I'm trying to understand what you know, how much we would need to change things for the discussion with you as opposed to with other players.
Right.
So that's all I was asking there, because I do intend on slowing down those extreme zones.
But dude,
and I
people
think
just
there are
don't have
like 10 of
time,
them.
man. Like,
and I think that is at least something.
like if you're
hopefully a lot of
fortunate
viewers are
enough
gonna
to
be
like
happy to
play
hear,
like
which is
8
like,
hours a
okay,
day,
cool, they're
you
gonna
are the
address those, like
extreme minority.
Exile, you've
You know,
got,
man?
Canopy, we're going to start. Those are the most egregious I'm listing. I'm not saying those are the only problematic ones.
May not feel like that,
And then you got areas like
but
Titan
you are.
Valley, which is just like riddled with annoying monsters that are just like.
Yeah,
out
if
of
you were like
control.
really good, you can finish the campaign in
and
like
you got
5
heaps
hours.
of this. We
But that's
start
like
there, we keep
you're
working
really good.
backwards
You
until
know
we
how to
catch as
play
much as we
everything, all
can,
the
and,
tricks.
it's
Like it
gonna
would
be
take me
a
like
lot of
8
different changes.
hours
So
to
one
finish the
could be,
campaign.
Okay,
But the campaign,
like, why is it that
I
there are
definitely
such
like
different
PoE 2 campaign
varieties
more than
of which
PoE 1.
all are just,
In
as
PoE
you've,
1, I'm
you
literally
know,
just running past
heard
everything
people
to finish the
mentioning,
game.
I think I saw
In PoE
something
2,
that
I'm actually
your
like
thing
playing the
was just
game.
they're playing PoE 1.
I do like the
I
idea of
thought it was
PoE
a funny
2, but just
comparison.
not
Which I,
what we're getting right
I'm
now.
like, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Because I don't mind
they
playing the
need to-
game
not
as
every
long as
monster
like
needs to
I'm
slow
not
down,
getting
but, like,
gatekept
for
by random
example,
RNG.
Some of them can be fast.
Because I
and
literally
maybe
just
the
don't deal
answer
enough
is, okay,
damage.
they should be weaker. So sure, they engage you, but they die quick. Or maybe
What a
the
legend.
answer is,
Burger
like,
Boys
there's too many
on
of
top.
them, and then in a lot of the cases, it's going to be like, okay, here's 6 different types of packs. Well, 6 of them are fast. Well, that's
Yeah,
a
Ben
problem.
too.
5 is fast.
Even
That's
if
a
you're
problem.
like
4 are
single
fast.
and you
That's a
have a
problem.
job
3 are fast.
and
That's
you're
probably
okay,
still
you'll
a
have
problem, but
just
2 are
infinitely more
fast,
time than the
that's probably
average
more
person.
acceptable. So you get two really
Like,
slow,
most
maybe two
people
fast, two kind
don't
of in
have
the
a lot of
middle,
time
and
to
you get
game.
some big slow monsters, some small
And it's probably a
monsters,
lot less than you'd really
that
think.
distribution isn't quite right in a lot of zones, and so that's why I asked, because I would say some zones have a nice
So that
here are the slow
23-hour
monsters,
campaign
and here are
would
the
take
fast
them like
monsters, and
50
it's kind
hours,
of
dude.
cool. You get this,
Think
like,
about
up
it,
and down
because
pacing, and it
you
can
know,
feel kind
like,
of fun, where sometimes you're on edge and sometimes you're just obliterating things.
because I'm able
And
to
then
just
you
like
get the
push
ones where
past
you're
it.
like, holy, I've just been
I can just
zoned
play
for 3
more.
zones in a row where I'm just on
But
edge,
if, like,
getting swarmed like
people don't
absolute, and
have
that creates this extreme negative feeling
experience
of,
and they're not like as
do the
good,
things that
it'll
my
just take them
skills
even
want me to
longer.
do, and that is bad. And
Imagine
that, I
spending like
definitely
2
wanna fix
weeks
that,
on a
and I wanna fix that
campaign for an
immediately.
ARPG
Like, I'm gonna
where the whole
immediately get
game
on
is
to doing
unlocked
that.
at mapping.
So
Trash.
there is a huge range of spectrum
Trash,
of
dude.
players that want different things here.
Yeah.
And I want to at least address that thing because I know that's just bad. Like, I think that's bad for everyone. I don't think that's bad for some people. I think that's bad for, I mean, everyone. It's for a huge majority. So we can start there.
Yeah,
For sure.
no,
To be
yeah.
clear though, like we still do need
No,
to
for sure,
have some
Hanao.
monsters that are fast
It's
to
like
play. We can't
RNG,
get none
if
are.
I'm understanding. I
And,
think we
like, things
agree.
Like the wolves in the
Like,
second area. Like,
literally,
if we didn't have that, then
there's
I
just
think that you
so much
wouldn't even,
RNG
like,
depending on how your
you
run
wouldn't
goes. If
get
you get
the
a good
feeling of,
weapon, you
like,
could fly through the campaign.
you would immediately out of the gate have the game as just trivial, and like I think that really would hurt the game a lot. Like I think that would be a big problem.
Exactly,
So
dude.
it's
Angry
really just a
ain't trying to
question of, like,
spend 23 hours on the campaign. He's trying to number it
there are
up
parts that are
while
frustrating,
hitting
we'll
endgame
address
maps.
them,
Like,
but like it
figure it out.
It isn't the case that just everything needs to be slower. It really would hurt.
So I think
There's another thing you.
I was just gonna say, I think
Sorry, go.
there's almost like 2 different player bases where there are a lot of people that just want to blast and maybe have challenging bosses, and then there are people that want like the entire gameplay, every second to second moment to be like very engaging. So it's I guess like
I don't know that I don't know that I agree with that either, because I don't think it's so.
Holy
binary as you
crap.
say. Like there is a middle ground that will work.
Yo,
like,
Jonathan
almost
kind of sucks right
certainly
now.
there is. And the
Yeah,
way that you get there is by
He's
just looking
very
at
defensive,
the
dude.
individual
Like,
cases
very
and every
defensive.
one of them
He's trying to
until, like,
push
the
his
rough
like.
edges are
He's
all sawed
right.
off, you know, sanded off,
And you don't
and,
understand my
and then it
depth.
kind of works.
That's the feel
Like,
I
you
get.
get to a point where like you just don't get frustrating experiences anymore because we've managed to sort of fix all of those cases, and that point won't be in a situation where just everything is slow. Like we really will still have.
Yeah, Hanao, a long time ago.
I guess the
I mean, they
problem
should
with
make it if you
everything
beat the
being
campaign
so
once, you
fast,
can skip the
and part of
campaign,
why
I think.
pointed out like everything almost.
That's why I don't play
because
multiple characters. Like,
it's
I just
such a
don't want to
heavy
play the
focus on
campaign.
combo gameplay right now, but it feels like the speed of the monsters are heavily incentivizing like one button builds. Like as soon as I could, I was like, the less I can do, the better everything will feel, just because I don't have time to set up combos.
Yeah,
We're getting
exactly.
completely
You wouldn't
overwhelmed.
understand. That's
That's
the
why I
vibe
pointed
I'm
out
getting, but
everything is a
maybe
bit of an
I'm
issue.
misreading it.
Well, it isn't necessarily the case that you have to use a combo on every monster. Like, if you've got something that's fast, you don't use combos.
Jonathin
on that
just-
because
yep,
it's
he-
disrupting.
Dude, he
uses
doesn't
the-
know.
It's
Dude,
also
there's
important
no
that
way. You
the-
literally have so many examples
monsters
of.
Jug
disrupt
on-
your combos,
Jug in the
otherwise
chat,
your
oh,
gameplay
man.
just degenerates into doing
Yeah,
like
that's
1, 2, 3,
crazy,
1, 2,
dude.
3, 1, 2, 3. Like the monsters have to be able, like there has to be situations.
That's just the
where your
completely
plans are
wrong.
disrupted in order to.
Just
Yeah,
wrong.
'cause,
It's just
like,
wrong.
Everything is
It's
set
wrong.
up to do
You
combos. Like the white
can
mobs
respond to
don't
them,
die
like,
in
you
one
actually
button
get some
builds and then like
counterplays
2
to that on-
builds.
No, yeah, it's just like actually
so the
wrong.
monster
That's
designs
crazy.
have
That's
to reflect
crazy
that
right
on some
there,
level.
actually.
But like it's always an amount, right? Like there's an amount of that you need, and there's probably too much of that going on. But you still need an amount of that, or you know, it just becomes all flat.
Damn.
We've I mean, we've been talking about like.
Dude, Jonathan
like,
would
the last
slam
few
for
days
sure
we've been talking
now,
about some,
but
like, pretty
I
extreme
can't believe you just said that.
considerations
There
and
are
things and, like,
clearly
you know, talking
easy
about-
examples of literally
The
white
monster
mobs
life is the main thing,
not
'cause
dying
you
in
could
full
argue is player
combos.
damage, right? They're obviously.
Well, it's
proportional.
Monster
It's
Life is the easiest.
literally,
If
literally,
everything is
too
weak, then Monster Life is the way to solve it.
Oh, yeah. If there's a few
you-
outliers,
I
of builds
don't know what
that
else
are
to
the-
say.
Find the tricks to do good, then yes. It
The guy
is-
on the
it
right
a-
is
a
trying to
bring all
keep.
players up or bring all
He seems
monsters
to
down, it's the
disagree
same thing.
in a lot of regards to what Jonathan
And,
is
like, we have
saying.
been talking
Jonathan
about a lot of
definitely
this
seems
and,
super
like, actually
defensive,
going,
but
like,
honestly,
what would we willing to do here? How would we willing to change it? What are we willing to test? What are we willing to
he's just
try?
trying to justify
And like, there's heaps
where the
of
game's
things
at
on the
right now,
cards here.
but-
Like, kind of honestly, everything's kind of been on the cards as long as we don't feel like at the end of the day that we've taken the teeth out of the game in terms of difficulty.
Yeah, I
That is
mean,
what's
I don't
important
know.
to us is making the game.
I don't
still
even
have
think
a-
about-
a feeling of hard.
I don't know
being
where
difficult.
he died,
And I
I
would say
think, and
out
logged off, but
more
he was
than
getting
just
spammed
bosses.
with
Like,
hate
it
messages
shouldn't
too.
just be that the bosses are. the
I don't know.
only
If I was a
thing
billionaire, dude, I feel like I just wouldn't have time. If I was doing
and
what
we
he was
certainly
doing, I
don't
feel like
want
I
it
just
to
wouldn't even have time to
devolve
log on.
into- What I would argue is,
No.
you know,
I don't know why he
this is,
tries so
way
hard to
further
like show
away,
that he's
but,
a
like, you know,
gamer.
again, we're talking about changing. It
Like,
could be
who cares,
changing
dude?
anything here. The one thing I also
You
worry
literally have
about
infinite
is,
money. money. Just go
getting to
build
the
an
thing
island or
where
something. I don't know.
I would argue a lot of the difficulty in PoE 1 outside of a lot of the boss fights is just like you occasionally just instantaneously
see.
die to something.
This guy on the
and you're
right,
like, I don't
this
even
guy on
know
the
what
right
I
is doing
died
well.
to.
I've seen him for.
And,
What's the guy's name on
a
the
lot
right?
of that is where you get like.
Mark.
It isn't necessarily
Mark.
from monsters being too hard, and it is often from just like spam and too much stuff going on, combined with like daemons and volatiles and all of that. So, making sure we avoid that as well. But it does mean in the sense that then you kind of get that like, okay, you have to have it be that you're engaging with the monsters for it to be difficult. Which kind of means
No, I think it's
monsters
cool,
do
Ben,
need
too.
to
I
actually
do.
pose a threat, and you need to be able to see what they're doing. And
It is
react
cool
to
that
what
they're given
doing.
their
Now,
you know,
I
their
wouldn't say
mind.
that's universally perfect, but that's an argument for like, you know, not wanting to get it to the point where it's too much of that just like, well,
I think
guess
that's
an
arguable,
argument for
Ben, too, with him paying
deswarming
people to
things,
play
as you said,
for
which
him.
I agree with, by the way. That is like an important thing, because it is kind of getting towards that, and that contributes towards where things are slow and stuff. But I wouldn't personally argue that every zone feels swarmy. I think there's a
He's definitely trying to portray that he can do everything. That's fine. I'm not here to argue about Elon, dude. I don't care.
Like
I don't care about that
certain
guy.
things are fast and certain things are
I
slow,
don't care.
and maybe there's.
I'm here
that.
for Path of Exile. I don't care.
So yeah, I'm not entirely sure where I was going with that, but I just want to. I guess it's more just giving my sense of.
We're
where I
gamers. We can
wanna,
just game.
Make sure we don't end up is in that place, just to make sure, and we want to be real careful about not getting to that point. So, I would actually say we're probably a bit too far there in a lot of the areas, but I don't think it is a universal problem right now.
I think also, especially, even though warrior is or May skills are particularly strong now due to being able to use a shield, but it can feel very bad that like every damage node like has a downside, whereas isn't really the case for the other builds, where like with maces, it's like, yeah, you get 40% increased damage, but 5% reduced attack speed, and reduced attack speed, especially with all these combos, can feel particularly bad compared to others. I would say like maces are kind of good right now, but a lot of that is the shield.
I actually do think there is a bit too much of the. I actually like a little bit of like here maybe a cluster or two having the kind of upside downside, but it's honestly something we've aside. You know, obviously keystones have upside downside, but yes, there's true.
It was weirdo.
Probably there's kind of too many passives, especially in
We're
the
here
warrior
for
section. That are a
Mark
little
and
bit
John
too
right now.
Giving downsides where it was something honestly that's a bit experimental to PoE 2. Like we didn't have that in PoE 1, and we were like, let's give it a go, and maybe we went a little bit overboard with it in that part of the tree.
Say again?
I don't hate it as a concept.
Jonathan just looks
that it's
pissed.
a little bit too saturated.
Yeah,
there. I
well, I
agree
mean,
with you there 100%.
Unhappy.
I would say.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he really
we're
like.
gonna iterate on that passive tree a million times.
He just
so,
wants people
it'll find
to
its sweet spot
agree
for
with what he
sure.
wants. I don't know. Those,
and it's definitely not there yet.
I do think it's important though that.
I mean,
like,
saying that
keystones
white mobs
can be
don't take combos to kill
So,
is like
Well, we're not-
just
we're not
completely
doing
wrong.
keys- the
So I
keys-
don't know
yeah,
what to
sorry, I
say.
didn't mean to say keystones. I was saying to say the notables can be
Notables.
felt. And so part of the reason for the upside downside thing is that like it lets you do a larger damage bonus because it's got the downside, and therefore you're going to really feel that damage bonus.
No, they are
And so,
good.
Yeah,
like,
and now-
it's the frequency of them.
fine
in
in
that
I don't
part
know.
of the
But
tree
I'm
is
saying
a
that you
bit-
can find
bit
another
off.
way maybe to do that, but it's like.
I do think
that
I don't know.
having that
I'm
feeling of,
definitely
like, I really
his
felt
comment
that
about the
good,
white mobs not needing
that,
combos to kill,
we, like,
like
that
is
a
living
thing
rent
that
free
you
in my
do
head
get.
right now. Because that's just such a crazy take when like
that is
clearly it's
important
not
in
like
that- in our
clearly
passive
the white
philosophy
mobs are
is that
overtuned. Like
you- the
damage is
before and
crap.
after of taking a notable, especially
They absolutely do
first,
survive
obviously,
multiple
notes become less valuable
combos.
as you get higher
It's
level because
there's so many
you're
videos
just
on it.
saturating into a bunch of diminishing
Like-
return. Well, not diminishing returns, but more like
That's just the crazy. That's
the-
just crazy. I don't know. That's
500
just
to
crazy.
520% increased is going to matter less than the 0 to 20 and whatnot. But especially for the first chunk of the game, we
Definitely
want to
makes
see
me
that
think he's
every
like trying to
notable is
gaslight a little
felt.
bit.
Like you're like, I definitely now can feel the difference.
What's up,
and
Dabs?
I
How
would
are
say
you?
a lot don't
Angry?
hit
No
that
way,
hard.
dude.
Um,
That's a
some do, some don't,
$3,000
but, yeah, we've been
console,
trying
man.
New things there, so.
Pivot. Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't
the
know,
next
Digi.
question,
I don't
I
know.
want to talk a little bit about the fact that you have only done
Dude,
like
what the hell,
crazy large
Kai?
changes between seasons. And you talked a
Gaslight's
little bit
working.
about
Well,
that you
I mean,
felt forced to
the
do
Zarian's doing a
gain
great
like it
job of
was
being really
released.
respectful.
Are you still
Because
happy
like
with doing
I
only
agree
like
that
those
it's
things
cool that they
between
do
patches,
this.
or
They don't
is that
have to.
something you would maybe revisit with something like every
I
2
do think
weeks,
there
especially
might
with,
be
like,
a part of
warning
them that feels like they
period,
have to, otherwise the game
changes
might get
upcoming 4
downvoted
days?
It's hard,
or review
I
bombed.
don't
But
think that you can just nerf people in the middle of a league no matter what. Like, we get highly punished for that. Look, I mean, people are going to be unhappy about nerfs whenever we do them, as you know, like as we can see. But like, it is actually strictly worse if you get nerfed while you're playing the game. Now we're in a position now
I agree with
where
that.
because things like are probably possibly undertuned, that we can just do mid-league buffs, and so that means you'll see way more patch changes happening. now because like it's okay to do major buffs during the middle of a league.
Which we're
we just
doing.
can't do. Yeah, which we're doing now. Right.
I generated.
Yeah,
a
well,
relatively
now they
large
actually
list
did
just to make
release
it- which-
notes
I
on the
know
size
we
of
had that
maps, and they
whole,
did actually
you know,
say that they're going to
philosophical
reduce
discussion
quite a
earlier
few of the
about player
campaign
power.
maps.
Well, like,
I don't know
there
when that'll
are many
happen,
builds, many skills,
but they actually did
that
release something
are
on their forums like last night at
underneath,
like
because
2 a.m. or
obviously
some
otherwise
crazy
I
crap
wouldn't
like that,
be-
dude.
Yesterday, have spent a good chunk of the day going through.
So they have
and
talked
assessing
about
what needs
it.
to be increased, right? So like,
Yeah,
I don't want
temporal
it to
change is
take as
dog
like
crap,
a-
dude. Oh my
I don't want people
gosh.
to take away from that as being like,
Yeah,
oh, we're happy
I
with
agree
the
with
current
buff
balance. Like,
standard movement speed
obviously not.
a little
We're still
bit.
gonna make changes. We're still going through everything with and. We'll
Decrease
get to
mob
that sweet
aggro.
spot
Like
for
mobs
sure,
don't
but,
like mobs
I mean,
literally
this really
outrun
does
you
feel
unless
like
you
a
have like
season of
crazy ass
buffs
movement
this
speed.
time.
Dude, they
The
catch
reason
up
why
to
I feel
me.
that way is because,
Only reason they
like,
don't
the
is
medicine
because I
has
shock
gone
them.
down now we can start on all of the actual like like all of the positive buff parts, and so it's like the like last season we just weren't even in a situation where we could even do that, right? Because it's like you already had just like
we genuinely tried to. We genuinely tried to. We had this plan of like bring all the top end outliers down and then make sure everything is feeling good in the middle. And we started with the bringing outliers down, and then all of a sudden, and this is why the patch notes were so late, we were like, oh no, like we're like running out of time here. Like we thought we could get through more of the balance and start bringing more things up.
Gotta
We
pee.
didn't get to do all that we had hoped to do. But like by that point, it's kind of too late.
Yeah, I know.
And so
It's
like
actually
we're going
insane.
in, and then now our idea here is like we thought we were. I like literally up
And then
until
like
the last
ranged
minute, we were
mobs
like,
stagger
keep
stun
going,
you
keep
just
going,
like
keep going.
melee, so you
Right,
get
let's
stunned
start
from
buffing
range,
this
and then you
weak
just get
things and,
the
like,
melee are
it
on
just
you,
ended
then
up
you get
being
stunned
too
again. It's just
time-consuming,
like
and so
it just
the
feels like
answer here
crap.
is now though it's like, well,
It
let's
literally
just
feels
keep
like
going.
crap.
And so obviously the first few days is really like looking at
gotta
all
pee.
the player
Tell me what
feedback
happens.
and going, what are the biggest problems, right? And this is where you get the Act 3 changes, you get the minion builds, you get the big things. And we are trying to address all of that. And I understand just game-wide balance is a big thing. But now it's just going to be like, all right, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill. Like, let's go. What are we changing? What are we changing? What are we changing? Going through literally every single one on every single skill tree and every single reservation. And then we're going to go, okay, well, you've still got Blood Mage and Acolyte of Chiola sitting there at 0%, 0.1% played. Okay, well, clearly not doing well enough. Let's target that and just go on and just keep... We're just going to keep iterating through until we can get as far as we can, and maybe we catch everything, maybe we don't, but like the intention is to not stop just because the release
those
day
two
happened. Like,
classes
we
really
had a
at
goal, we didn't achieve that
0.1%
goal, and so we
played?
just need to keep going.
And do you have like a rough idea? Like you were saying you were working on a lot of things to be buffed. Do you have a rough idea on how early we could be seeing those already?
Well, we'll be seeing them continuously. Like okay, so this was a
2 days.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like this was a
perfect,
funny
that's
thing
what I wanted.
because okay, like so like one of the things I think that was majorly misinterpreted that things we're working on post was like this was the things we were working on that day. Like literally that was that day's worth of work that we were talking about, and then the next day it's like, well, now we're doing this Act 3 stuff, and like today we'll be doing a bunch of other stuff, and like you know what I'm saying, it's like every day we're going to be like continuing to iterate and do stuff. It's like
That's
so
good.
the idea that someone's like, oh, they're not even acknowledging this thing, it's like, well, come on, we've literally had like that was one work day.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
there's more stuff coming, right? Like
Which
you know.
we need to be more clear about.
Sure,
so
sure.
We'll try to be more
Right.
more specific about that, but yes.
I mean,
like,
the one that I found the most funnier with that is it's like I'm like, okay, we're gonna look into all this Act 3 stuff, but
Go
in
to
the
what, the
meantime, we'll
Patrick
just add some checkpoints, and it's like the reason I put that in there is because like that's literally a thing we already noticed was bad, and it's like it's not like hurting anyone to add some more. Just like the idea that we're like, oh, we're just gonna solve the whole thing by adding checkpoints was like ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
obviously that wasn't the case. It was just like here's just a thing
Well,
that
there's
I
a
can
few
just
changes.
tell
There's
someone,
this
"Hey, go do
technically
this
isn't a
while I'm looking
league
at this."
gutter.
You
It's
know,
just
and,
like a
until they did
patch,
that, so then
actually.
they'll go in the next version. But you know, like it's like
It's just like an
then it's
update,
like
actually. It's not
the
even a
next, like,
league, to be
4
honest.
hours
You
of
have
after
rogue
that, I'm,
exiles
like,
on the
sitting there
map, which
going
is really
through
cool, I
areas
think,
and trying to work
actually.
out what's,
And then you have the
you know, like, what
spirits.
needs to improve about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so checkpoints is kind of something I want to talk about with the large zones and
An
stuff. You
hour,
posted,
dog?
you made a post yesterday talking about that.
Rip. It was fun.
Several Act 3 zones.
Yeah,
would
I
be
don't think it's
reduced
technically
in
considered a
size.
league. I don't
But
think, but
as a core idea,
because there's no like packs to buy for
is Path of
league,
Exile 2
like
being aimed
forum
more at,
icons
like,
or
doing
anything like
one
that.
long playthrough and finishing up one character rather than do like 5 to 10 characters and the people that are playing
could be
those
wrong,
as
though.
far as per year.
I mean, I don't. That's once again, it's not like I'm not targeting one or the other. Like your second. I mean, like if you're doing multiple playthroughs, the game is a lot faster just due to the like items and stuff that you have. Like that is definitely the case. You know, like
Not wrong.
A big thing
it's
that's
like
missing.
making multiple characters in a league is certainly something that I expect and want you to be able to do.
Well, a big thing that's missing comparatively to PoE 1 is our ability to speed ourselves up, right, on our second characters. In PoE 1, you have things like 7 League Step and stuff like that, and at least so far we don't have that many alternatives for that, and our movement abilities are completely different. No Quicksilver, so even though like we can kill the bosses faster, but since the zones are so large, we can't get like the same amount of speed on our second and third character onwards that we would be expecting in PoE 1.
Well, is the zone largeness issue like I mean, Act 3 was the one I would say that was like pretty obvious as far as like things like that go. But if it comes to other zones, it's just a question of what are those zones and which are the issues. And like also the other thing.
What's up,
is,
Viewless?
Like usually,
Welcome.
generally speaking,
How are you?
Like once you know how the zone works, there are ways then to like to
Fresh and liquid.
To
Coffee.
to know what you're looking for and sort of how to go places. So to the extent that's that isn't the case, that's why like when we're looking at that's why when we're looking at Act 3, it's not just make this zone smaller. It's like what's actually the reason why a player who is experienced
You're
is not
wasting
able to
half
find
your
something
time
that
running
they want,
around
right?
looking for
And
crap.
that's where we come to like, oh, there's this whole area over here that you could just walk down and you have no idea whether or not that's important or not. And so then you end up doing that and it just wastes a bunch of your time. But like the intention is to make it so that like if you know what you're doing, then you know where to go and like you don't have a problem with that. So like that's why a lot of the changes in Act 3 are just like, okay, yeah, like you get this, you randomly get bad luck, and then the Chimera Wetland has the stupid Y fork thing in it, and like takes ages to go one way or the other. And it's like you get rid of all of that stuff, and then the zones won't feel so large because like you'll know where you're going and you'll know how to get, you know, it kind of works out that way.
But I do know the layouts, so and they are very large even with knowing the layouts, just because our movement speed is like relatively slow. Like even like Matlan waterways, before they're getting reworked, hopefully the rework makes them a lot slower. But I know exactly where I'm going. I'm not like backtracking into the wrong area, making it longer.
So
it is just a lot of these
area in
zones are very long.
particular, like I understand that area is a challenging one, and it's hard for us to actually fix like trivially because just the way that the level generation works there, there's not an easy like it's not like okay, like we other areas we can change the layouts very easily because like of the way that our generation works, but that area has a very fixed type of layout, and so it's going to take more effort, which is why it was on the list because I didn't have an immediate like thing I could do that day to sort that one out. But like I understand that that's an area of concern for people. But like once again, it's like that's a specific area, and I wouldn't say that like that the issues that area has would apply to the whole game. You know, like that's just an area, a specific problem for that particular area.
So, is speeding the player up an option? Like, is that something you'd be willing to consider?
Well, it sort of depends on how it was done. Like, we've discussed some things in that area, like before. I'm not necessarily against that, but it would have to be done in a way that didn't compromise the combat and compromise like the
That's a no.
Like it shouldn't be the
That's just
case
him saying
that,
no.
Yeah.
Because this is the issue with this, right? Is that speeding up the player is if you speed up the player to the point where they're once again faster, they're always faster than the monsters, then you get back to the like combat doesn't work anymore, like
yeah,
optional kind of
I
like,
don't know.
situation again. So like we would have to find a way to do that wasn't going to like break that as well. So there might be something we can do there, and we've kind of been discussing that. Because I'm not exactly wanting to subject people to like running when they're not doing anything, right? But it's just a question of finding a way to do that that's not gonna.
It's hard to say anything specific because like there's a little bit of like the moment we say a specific solution, people might hold us accountable to that in a degree, and
like we haven't tried it yet, so we can't.
We have been talking about it. We do have some options we want to try. We just don't want to talk about them before we try them.
Right.
But like, yes, I agree. Now you mentioned one other thing there, just because I don't want to gloss over things too much, which is you mentioned the Twink unique problem.
Yeah.
Which is 7 League Steps. There are many more items in PoE 1 that you can use to streamline the efficiency on reroll. That is still very deficient. Yes, it will come in time, I assure you. It's just a matter of we did higher level uniques this time. Obviously, they're not going to have low level item requirements. Maybe next time there's a more even split. I don't know. We just need to keep going with the uniques, and we'll eventually get there. We do have some designs that achieve specifically the low level high movement speed boots. We do have that as a thing that I definitely already have designed. I think it's just waiting on the art, and then it's going to go in. But yeah, there's going to be a lot more of those coming over time as well. Like that will solve itself in due time for sure. And
but is there, like, the question I was, okay, so is for damage, the twinking situation is not bad right now, right?
it's
Like,
not
for
as bad.
damage,
It's not as bad.
it's not
Again,
that
you
bad.
can kill stuff
It's
fast.
it's the movement speed specifically that we're
And the fact that we don't have movement abilities, like, in the same way. Like, there's only so much speed you get with shield charge. Like, if I'm doing, like, a third or fourth character, I can definitely get enough damage, right? It's rough on my first character,
But you
but
don't
at least...
have to use movement abilities as the solution to this, and I would prefer that wasn't the solution, because then you
Damn
end
it,
up with
Jonathan.
kind of, like, pretty lame sort of gameplay thing going on there. Like, there's going to be a better way to improve that without using
movement
having
abilities in
abilities.
RPGs. They
We
make
have
it feel
some
so
things on the
good.
They
cards,
do,
We
they
just
do.
need to test them out and try them and be
That
able to
just
actually
makes
have a
me
good
sad.
argument as to why they work.
I mean, it
why
depends
they
if they
are
have like a
good
good
and we
system
convince
cooked up. But
ourselves
like
that
Jonathan
we
definitely
should've done this
seems
before,
like he
or
wants.
they're bad and we're like, here's
He
why
definitely
they're
doesn't
bad, and
like
we can
ideas
explain
being
what
thrown
was
out
right
right
and why
now.
it's bad.
He
But,
wants it the way he
yeah,
wants
again,
it. It seems
it's-
like, but
we're
we'll just have to
always
see
been
where
on
he's willing to like
discussing what those will
give,
be.
you know?
because,
Yeah, it seems
yes,
like
again,
Mark's the
being
one
held
who's
accountable. People get
very
hopes up
willing to
for it,
like,
and then
yeah,
we
we
have
could
to
probably
say
do
it doesn't
that
work.
type of
So, like,
stuff.
Yeah, because he
it's a little
knows
bit like,
that
let us just try these
Jonathan
things
is
and then we'll see
literally
what's
wrong
going
in the
on.
stuff he's
We'll
saying.
tell people
Like,
the moment that we have it, but
I promise
it's
you,
not
there's
a
probably
piece
more
of,
people that
it certainly is
want the buffs
something that's
than
come up,
they
and
like the
it
game
will
right
come up
now
every
currently.
single repeat
Like
of
straight
the
up.
league, and so it's
Well,
not,
I think
like,
as
off our
Mark,
radar
someone in your
by
chat
any
might know. I
means.
think Mark was the dude who used to be like a PoE 1 speedrunner, like on the level of
A
Ben.
bit of a different
Yeah,
question,
okay, that was
but,
Mark, yeah.
On console,
I'm pretty sure.
debuffs have
Like, the
option to
game
be
just
at the
doesn't
bottom of
feel
the screen
good
or
right
there'll be a
now. It
toggleable
just
option
doesn't.
For PC. Just can be rough to like.
We need him
visualize.
gone,
It wasn't
pecan.
on my radar. We might be able to
We have a full
Yeah,
buff
well, this is a
rework going
technically
on
like
at some point soon.
an
It was
insight to
planned
what
for
they're
earlier
thinking,
where,
Grizz.
like, you know,
It's gonna give players.
so this can be part of the
it-
consideration, I guess.
This
but yeah,
interview
they,
will probably make
how are
players
UX
continue to
guys
play
currently
this
working on?
this
I have it
patch
on
or not. Honestly,
top
Grizz.
5 of his list kind of
What's up,
thing of things that
Zizo?
we're gonna just do to improve
Yeah,
the system.
Jonathan. Jonathan wants it his way for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like
the
he,
whole thing,
everything he
they can go
says,
behind
if
on
it's not
buffs
his
and
way,
like
he just
bars
doesn't
and,
want
you
it.
know, all that problem, and
Seriously.
hopefully if it's good enough as well, we can.
Like you can
port
tell me that
PoE
it's
1 'cause
that
it's
I
much
don't
more
understand and
egregious
stuff
than
like
that
that,
for
but dude,
sure.
the game feels like crap. White mobs definitely
The
take
next
more than one
question
combo
is
to kill.
about,
Like
in
it is what
PoE1
it
we have
is.
A lot of player agency.
Just because you don't
over
want to accept
how
it doesn't
we
mean it's not
solve
true.
early
Like
problems. Like the
clearly,
shield
there's
tree
plenty
has
of
a lot
issues. The game feels
temporary
like crap.
fixes,
Like
for a build early on, where if your gear isn't up to
Mark
scratch,
knows it
you can
too.
get 30 to like strength dex int. You can get leech. You can get resists, even like specific ones like fire, cold, lightning, etc. You can get very easy access to fixing mana.
I'm
and
going
stuff
to
like
I'm
that.
going to PoE.
And a lot of things that are like temporary
PoE.
fixes that you later on fix with gear. And the crafting bench.
Like
also
even
helps
gear
a
right now,
lot
like just
more
feels
with that
like
in
crap.
PoE1.
Like
And
I haven't.
know
I'm not
runes
getting
are meant
any
to be the
upgrades, dude. It's
solution
just all
here.
worthless crap.
But we don't really get
But
enough sockets.
obviously
early
my maps
on, we
aren't
don't get
giga
enough
juiced,
gear
but
early on,
I'm not getting
and
anything.
We then don't have any way at all to really fix this.
I literally don't think I got one
So
upgrade
why-
yesterday in 8 hours.
Why is it that you're not getting enough sockets?
I'm not.
early on?
I'm not looking
That
at
they're
like
just not dropping. Even
giga.
if you're checking the
giga
vendor,
gear,
like,
just
I'm
anything.
checking the vendor every time I level up. I'm disenchanting everything. I still don't get enough because the game is very difficult right now. So you try to keep getting gear upgrades. There is not enough loot. There is a lot of people complaining about not enough drops.
I don't get the same experience of not getting enough socketables personally.
Dude, what? I don't think I got. Dude, I pick up all the sockets and quality, and I definitely don't have enough in the campaign.
Would have sockets like in there. So like
That dude, that's crazy. It's just not true, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. That's insane,
Yeah, I
dude.
mean,
Just
I
no
would love that the
way. There's just no way. Dude, there's just no way.
And it is fundamentally.
Dude, 37,000 people are watching.
When he plays, he turns a loot modifier and 10
Dude,
times
there's
loot.
something wrong. You can't tell me, dude. Even last update, there were, dude. I never had enough sockets. I could barely upgrade my weapons. Like that shit, dude. That's crazy. He's baiting, dude. He's rage baiting. 100%. There's no way. There's no way.
That just comes down to the values on the mods, and like what those should be,
which aren't necessarily right.
Right, but the thing
dude,
is,
Mark's our hero, Patrick. Mark is our hero.
To be able to do that. And I mean,
Jonathan, like, is out of touch 100% on what's actually going on.
That's not a thing that I'm doing. I mean, I might do it like if I've got
That
like
is
a
insane,
stack of
dude.
9 shards and I'm like, okay, I want
That's
stock it right
freaking
now, I
crazy.
might, like, do
Yeah,
that, but,
dude, something's not
generally speaking,
something's
that's
not
what I'm
normal
doing. So like,
because
there's clearly some disconnect here, as far as like what the amount of loot that you're getting versus what I'm seeing, I suppose. So like, I guess I just need to understand why. Like, why does it feel so different for
It
different
might be
people, I
quite.
think?
It might have a relatively high swinginess or something that we need to find a way, like adding more. Like, I know
yeah,
something
no,
that was
100. I'm with
suggested
you.
was
I'm
adding
with
more
you.
artificers
Like I'm all
orbs,
for like giving
to
people benefit of the
first
doubt,
rewards
but
through the
dude,
game
the
to minimize the
main
RNG outcome.
concerns he
Because
is
we
saying
added
are
those
not
quite
true.
late, we didn't end up putting them
When
in the,
So that's something
clearly
we can
it's
do,
true,
you just get more
like-
of them during campaign, and I'd be totally open to that. Like that's totally.
It's just is. It's just true.
To do
Like
soon is explore. I know. I mean, sort of
recap,
unrelated,
please.
but,
Jonathan is
is
delusional.
that,
Bark
well,
is our savior.
casters don't have their
Jonathan
weapon crafting bench.
thinks
We do
that
need- and so we wanna add
white
some
mobs
of those
don't take
custom
combos
weapons.
to kill in the campaign. He says that they
Now,
should
there
be
is one
faster than the
slight concern
player.
that I have seen echoed in a
He
decent
says
bit of
that
feedback,
gear
which
drop
is
during
that
campaign
the
is
runes
fine.
are,
You have enough sockets, enough quality
which
gems.
is
Everything
mitigated
is
with more
fine.
artificers orbs for sure, but the runes are creating a
Everything that is clearly not true, he says is fine. Mark is the hero. Yeah, yeah. Game's good, players are bad, is what he's saying. Literally, that's what he's saying.
So there's a little bit of just making sure
What's
we're
up?
careful
How you
about
doing,
that as
Bartotus?
well. But being able to have more artificers orbs and thus socket more gear will mitigate that, so that when you get your upgrade, you're able to add a
Hi,
socket
Mark.
to it.
Yeah, hi, Mark.
But I would say that it's definitely the hard-coded drops that would be the thing that, because if it's not happening to everyone, then it is a thing that that would be
All the major complaints, Taylor, he
the
says
caster
he
weapons
doesn't
getting
see the
rune
issue.
sockets
Seriously,
and
like
rune,
actually, that's kind of what it comes down to.
And,
You can tell that he wants it his way, and that's it. Mark is the one who's like, yeah, actually, this does feel bad. We could take a look at it. It's just not that simple. But Jonathan's like, actually, I've had no issues with that. This wasn't a problem for me. I like it. So I think it's
I just don't
fine.
want them to be too much about giving damage.
Frick
but it might
you,
be a little
John.
More utility and defensive ones are just on the weak side, and those can certainly come up immediately.
Well, the problem that you have,
Yeah, dude,
is
crazy.
that,
He
like,
said,
so I
yeah,
sort of mentioned this
gosh,
earlier,
dude,
but
that's
if the
insane.
tools that
Jonathan.
you have are too powerful,
Frick you, John. Get out of here.
Jonathan's like, no, hold the brakes. You said give players power. Pump that.
Dude, John is like developing the game
It's
for what
been a
he
while,
wants, dude.
Wikilot.
It's actually crazy.
will, be like,
Dude,
it's
John
just a
will
new
never be
patch
trusted
opens,
again
it's like, well, I didn't know about
after
this,
this.
and then, like, you get screwed over. And so, like,
Ooh,
things
Marley,
like,
72 months.
even
Dude,
nodes
Marley,
of things
thanks for
like,
72
you
months.
had to know to pick this,
Thank
and
you
if
very
know to
much,
do
dude.
that, then you're
6
screwed, right? Like, that's
freaking
the kind of thing that's, like, a bit of a
years.
problem.
Thank you very much,
And
Marley.
So that
How
It's a
is
long-ass
players
time,
learning
seriously.
to play a
that,
game a
and, like,
problem?
that's actually one of the reasons, by the way.
Troyish,
lesser
well, all the
runes
major
that-
issues that are currently plaguing the game,
before, if you knew
he says he doesn't notice them.
lightning
Essentially, he doesn't
Really
notice
think
them.
we're
He
all,
thinks
like,
it's fine.
dumb as bricks and we
then
can't
you
learn
would
to play a
just, like,
game if it's slightly
completely,
complicated.
like, ridiculous compared to
No,
anyone
I think
if
this is
anyone
just
could
ego
do
straight
that.
up here, dude.
And
I
so
think
it's like,
it's
you've got,
literally
like,
his
it shouldn't
ego's
be
hurt,
just a single, like, there's a tool
and
like that,
he's
which
trying to
is
gaslight
just,
people.
just with knowledge alone.
Like, no
so you're
joke.
completely like you're
Like-
completely overpowered.
You might
by
be
other
right.
people.
Like
you
there,
just have to be, like,
there's
you
just
have to
no
be
way
really
you sit
careful
here
with
with a straight face and say like,
Well,
loot
it's
drop during
important-
campaign is
it's also-
good.
oh,
Player speed
it's
movement's
just
good. It's good
important
that
to,
monsters are
make sure
faster
that
than
the
you.
solutions are
White
ultra-
mobs
very
aren't difficult
front-facing,
when
'cause
clearly they're
that
busted.
passive tree
Like,
stuff,
hello? There's just no way you
is
say that
very
to straight
one,
face.
Sure, agreed. And it seems obvious to
Yeah,
a
dude,
bunch of
Marley,
people,
thank you
but
for 6
then
years.
also, there's two problems going on there in the PoE
Yeah,
1,
I'm with
which
you,
is
Dorito.
it
I
adds
want
to a
something
sense of
different and
complexity
new
because
other than
it's like,
PoE
here are
1,
the
and
things
I
you must know
love
before you
PoE
start
1.
playing to have
But
a
I
good
want something
time.
new too. Like I do
And I know
too.
that's one small piece
But
of
not
that
this.
puzzle,
Not
or that
this.
problem. And the second thing is,
I'm all for something new. Like I want new. I'm tired of playing the same games that are like 15 years old, dude. Like I don't want that.
Is a downside. Ideally, it would be more.
And I
in your
love
face.
PoE 1.
And so like a lot of people just forget to use it and forget that it exists. And that is a thing where like again, if you know, you know, and you have a good time, and if you don't know, you don't know, and you like
Path
suffering.
of Vision.
So whatever the solutions
Path
end
of
up being,
Vision.
you definitely need to make sure are like very front-facing in your face.
Path
and, like,
of
here's
Vision.
clearly the very intuitive way to solve these problems. So that's just an important
Yeah,
piece of like,
Troyish.
philosophy. we need
Apparently
to
that's
make sure
fine
we
though, dude.
maintain.
Apparently
A
it's
lot
fine
of
that
can be
every
solved
mob is
by
faster than the player
requests
by
that,
like
you
double
can
the
have an
speed.
NPC already giving one of those like runes and even
And if you
telling
can't
like,
kill the
hey,
white
chuck
mob,
this
it's a
in your
skill
weapon
issue.
for more damage
Even
if you're
though it literally
using
has the same HP as a
Um,
yellow mob and hits as hard. Just get freaking good, Troy. Stop being crap,
If the
kid.
runes are there to solve problems, then ideally we're not telling you exactly which one to use, right? Because it should be dependent on what your problem is.
Jonathan is like the head
But we do need
developer
to-
of
But you
Path
just
of
said
Exile.
we're not smart enough to do that. I'm confused.
Dude, you just don't understand,
Yeah,
Patrick.
but
Okay,
were
you
talking
don't get
about
the depth,
problem
dude.
that
This
you're
is too much
rewarded
for you
knowledge,
to
which I
understand.
don't think
Just like,
necessarily is a bad thing. I think
You're right,
that
I'm
is a
sorry.
good
just yeah,
thing.
dude. Like,
No,
just
we-
sit down
we
and be
100%
happy.
Should
Okay.
be rewarded for knowledge. The question is, was the degree of the reward? Because if it is as high as like the point where just knowing this like doubles your DPS, then like that means that like the way it means that the balance has to be like surely like monsters would have to be harder if that was the case. And so it's like I don't think that can be something that like we don't want to have to make the monsters harder. So therefore, like we have to just be a little bit careful about that.
Crazy, dude.
There's a fine line there for sure. But yeah, there's some improvements around here to be made, and there's some good takeaways from that anyway, right? Like when the determinism for sure, and I think it's also a matter of like, okay, I think there is a guaranteed rune from Ogham Village. Maybe that's too late. We should be doing that like earlier or having more of them.
See, like that's a great take. Like
outcomes,
maybe
but
it's
also
too
maybe
late.
knowing
We
that
could
you're
look
gonna
at it.
get
Like
that
that's a
in
great take, dude.
advance.
That's all people
With
are
the
looking
couple,
for.
I don't think we
I
quite
think
have
them
that
taking away the
displayed, so it's
crafting
like
bench is a huge L.
Yeah,
some
I
of
do
those,
too.
like,
I
There's
do
no,
too.
there's no
world map
crafting in this
icons
game
where you go
anymore.
No,
over
it's
to
literally
the
gambling.
board aren't-
Luckily, with the fracture
it's not
orb, they kind of
necessarily
gave us
explaining
options
to
to
the
like
user what
do
they're gonna
something and
get,
like
and so
the
they
omens
might
and stuff. But the
it's
omens are
just
like
another
Still,
giga
it's
rare.
gambling.
It
It's
is.
gambling
Yeah.
with an extra step of gambling.
No, it is. Like you should be able to at least craft some basic ass stuff on basic gear, 100%. Aside from runes.
Some power adjustments, some more determinism, especially with Artificer's Orbs. I actually 100% agree with that. I think if we hadn't have added that system
Yeah,
so
look
late
at that.
into the
Crazy. Mark
development,
agrees
we
that
would've
there's
actually
no
been
Artificer Orbs
around
early campaign.
100%
Just
anyway,
giving
so
people
we
more
should
options to
still
craft early game, whether it's gambling or not, would just be massive and make it a
yeah,
lot better.
well,
Well,
100% some improvements there.
Another thing I'm curious about then, I asked about the skill tree. Do you
Save
feel
us,
like the
Mark, dude.
skill
Mark-
tree
Mark's
gives a
the
good-
hero.
or does a
Praise
good
be
enough
Mark.
job of doing temporary solutions right now that you can later out gear, or like is that something
Jonathan
you'd be
literally,
open to looking at?
he just sounds so pretentious, man. If that's the right word.
Our core philosophy there was that
Like I feel like that's the word I
the
feel right
gear
now.
should
He just
give you
seems
base
so
stats and the
pretentious.
tree should multiply them.
I don't know
which
if that's the
makes
right
tree
one. I feel like it
implicitly
is, but
worse at then
It's crazy,
solving the
dude.
problem. So the intention there is that now whether or not I would say we haven't really rediscussed it since then. I still believe that's a
in denial,
great thing to have.
pretentious.
Um,
Yeah, dude, this is not a good look for John.
There are
Honestly,
the other thing that just as a side
I know
note
he's
is that
trying
there
his
aren't
best to
runes that
like
give you attributes, right?
Correct.
be chill, but dude, all of
And
his
so
takes
that
are
means
just
that you can't solve
garbage.
attribute requirements with runes, which is
They're just
something that
up.
I
They're
brought
just
a bit
not
ago,
fun,
but,
dude.
like we
Like,
didn't have time to look at what the implications of that were.
It's crazy.
My sole fear with
I know
that
it's
is
so
that it
early, but if
means
that's
that
his
it is
vision,
even
dude, like
harder
holy
now
crap,
to
it's
replace an
PoE2
item
won't
with
live.
another
That
item.
is the concern.
Yeah, it is. That's why like something like 30 dex
Poor
strength,
philosophy.
etc. was obviously very nice in PoE1. And it does feel a little bit like, oof. I wish
Maybe
I
with
didn't
the
have
new
to
league
think
happens,
that
Ben,
gives
too.
you, like,
Crafting in
incentive
PoE,
to
you have
fix that through gear later, and obviously we have so much resist on the skill tree in PoE1 too. I remember like
you have so
the
many
first time I
options. You
played
can play
PoE2,
PoE1 like
we
10
didn't know
different
anything
ways.
about the skill tree and stuff like that. And I remember thinking I was in like Act 2 somewhere, and I hadn't pre-planned my day. I hadn't like looked at the data mines or anything like that. So I was like, okay, let's go look at the skill tree where the resists are, because I'm like 10%, 15% on the different res, so I'll pick up 15 on the skill tree. And there was just that one in like warrior left start, and I was very surprised for that. So like, what's the reason for not having that much resist on the tree?
Because once again, as Mark said, the tree is the theory of it is that the tree enhances what your items are doing, in order to make the But I mean, look, there's something to think about again. Like
Yeah,
there might be something to that we should be reconsidering.
Yeah.
Like
We'll 100%
No.
have a discussion about this afterwards, for sure. Like, I certainly have a whole bunch of thoughts on this real quick, and I definitely want to go over it and just reevaluate this, because like we did make a lot of these philosophical decisions, right? We were like, tree should multiply, obviously aside from attributes, and gear should give the base, and like
No, not yet, Marley.
you know,
Not yet,
because
Marley.
An
I
alternate
know, dude. I
solution
know,
might just
Marley.
be
I'm
that
sorry.
The
I know.
resistance
I
is
don't know
given
what
by
to
the
do for it,
runes
but I
are,
do have an
like,
artist
much
that's
lower
Triss
as
in the
well, right?
community.
Like, that
She's
certainly-
willing to do it.
because
I just don't
if
know
you
what to
look at-
do
think
for it,
of, like,
Marley.
the tree for one on
I know. I'll get it to you though. I promise.
obviously PoE1, and you combine that with the crafting.
Mark
bench
is
of
saving
PoE1,
it while
like,
Jonathan's trying to kill it.
the amount of resistances you're getting
That's
there
on
even
you.
from the lowest tier crafts and the tree
He wouldn't
is enough
angry.
to certainly
Nah,
don't
it would.
solve any
It would.
problem. So there's
'Cause, like,
there's a little
Tyler
bit of
wouldn't
just, like,
understand the depth.
making sure we don't want to make it too trivial.
You know?
So
Well, the other thing as well is that the monsters are balanced, assuming a different amount of resist than they were in PoE1. So that like changes things a little bit.
No, I don't want it
You know,
angry.
like the expectation is not that you have like high resistances through the game necessarily. Like the expectation is that well, the expectation is that you should be able to get through from merely overcoming the negative.
I'm
resistances, not
scared.
From going through the acts. Like if you're at 0%, you should be like it should be that should be
I'd
enough.
be
and
like
then
a tinny
any
dude.
improvement you have
EBs
over
or
that
whatever.
is supposed to be just like something that's making your character better. So
The-
like, but if the monster life or monster damage,
I don't
is
know what
not
the B word
calibrated
is.
correctly, then it won't feel that way to the player. But like that was kind of like balancing around 0 was like another idea that we had to try and make it so that you always knew the amount of resistances you were supposed to have. Like being that like if the number is red,
that
you need
the
more.
is
and
that
if the number is
tinnies?
not red, then you have enough. Like, that was kind
BB.
of the theory in order to make it more obvious. Like to like what people are supposed to do.
That is such a lie. If you have
the
0
other
res, you
thing
go into
about
magic,
tree
you get
that
1
can be a bit
tap.
tricky,
Dude,
here
John
is that
literally doesn't
when
play
you
the same
have
game.
that problem, like you probably have that problem immediately. Where
He
you're
goes
like,
in with
I'm
God
dying
mode
to
on.
this fight,
Like something's
I'm
wrong.
dying
He
to
does
this
not play the
boss, I
same
don't have
game.
enough
I
fire
don't.
resistance.
Thumbs up.
The answer can't be like, okay, I need to look at my tree and get some fire resist, because that's too late, right? Like
Or clearly he just thinks that's
you need
okay.
to solve this problem more immediately.
Right.
So having a
I
more
guess.
immediate solution is ideally what it would be. So ideally there you'd be like, okay, I'm going to swap this item for this item, and or maybe put this rune in, and now I might have another go and have a good time. Where if the answer is like, okay, there's resistance nodes over here, I just need to get 6 more levels so I can get them to then go and fight the boss. Like, I understand there's a level of like, obviously they're good at forward thinking problem solving, but like when you're like in the moment and you're like, damn, I'm struggling right now, what am I going to do right now? It needs to be a more immediate solution, and that's where
why a rune can
that's
be
where
better,
the
right?
passive tree solves it in one regard but doesn't solve it in another regard, and it's important that yes, the runes are there to solve that problem and certain items are there. And sure, it's easy to, it is not necessarily incorrect to say that those tools aren't as readily available as they should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I also think
Let
part
it
of
be
it is
Mark.
that we're definitely not dropping enough gear. Like the state of my gear, it's quite rough. Like a lot of the things I've found throughout the campaign ends up being 1 or 2 stat items, if that.
But isn't that just the? But like.
Oh,
the thing
John.
I would say about that is like.
Just
okay,
stop talking.
When you're saying your gear isn't good enough, you're also just saying the monsters are too powerful. Like it can just be the monsters. Like I don't think.
Just
that
stop
it's-
it, John.
Like.
No, but
It's-
the drop
there's
rates
an
right now
element
are
here,
really
like, you might
bad.
just be
I think.
conditioned to wearing rares
Dude,
every
literally,
single
I played for
time.
8
It doesn't have to
hours,
be the case.
and then
Like,
afterwards I
the
played
gear
for like a
power is
few more hours.
is
Not
entirely
one,
relevant
not
to monster
one
power. So
even
if you're saying
potential
your gear isn't
upgrade.
good enough, it doesn't have to be the gear needs to get better. It can just
It's
be
not
the
even,
monster
not even
power.
kidding you.
Sure, if you like, if you're talking about also like damage and like I said, speed, but okay.
Not saying my gear is like awful. Don't get me wrong, but there's like no potential for upgrades. It feels like, if that makes sense. It's not that like it just feels like the item rolls like there hasn't even been potentials. I'm just literally gambling, and I'm okay with that to an extent. I am.
Around your gear through the campaign, and it results in way
I am.
more like gear
Like,
upgrades. as
also
you go through
trade
the
league,
campaign.
obviously,
Like,
if you
there's
want to
way more
trade, you
options.
can. It's different,
you'll
right?
downgrade to a blue, but then you'll find a regal. And
But I don't think I could have
upgrade it, and then you'll
sold.
add some more mods and
I
so on,
think
and, like, you're just the
on
amount
Trade
of
League, I
gear
probably could have
changes that are
sold like
happening through the
4
campaign
things
is
as of
very,
right
very
now.
high. And so
Like
if
nothing
we
in between,
just
nothing like,
drop
oh, this
more
is half
gear,
decent. It's
then
like,
we
no,
would
it's just
lose
bad.
out on that,
Or
and
it's just
whereas if
good.
we lower
There's
monster
like no
power,
middle
then
ground.
you're improving the like you don't need we wouldn't need to do that. And once again, that doesn't necessarily say that the gear is in exactly the right place, but what I am saying is that
Just take it out.
Like,
Take it all
isn't
out.
it isn't just buff items. Like
So-
it is a question of player power relative to monster power.
But the thing is, like, we aren't switching.
Dude, you
up
don't
gear a lot,
understand.
though. I
It's
think a lot of us feel
clearly
like
it's
we're like
that.
finally finding, let's say, like a glove with 60 life and 15 fire risk, and then we end up keeping that all the way until maps because we aren't really finding anything else. We have very little currency to craft with and stuff, and a lot of people also reported finding like a large chunk of their majority of their currency in Act 1, where maybe people find as much as like 3 to 10 exalts in Act 1, and then find 0 in Act 2
what's
and
up,
3, so it's just,
Omega?
like very, very
I
early
can't-
heavy.
I can't really explain why that would happen.
What's up?
because,
Welcome,
the
Omega's
gear- like,
people.
The way that loot
Welcome.
drops doesn't change. The only thing that changes
Dude,
is the
huge.
number of magic and rare
Thank you
monsters that,
very much,
exist.
Omega. Hopefully you had a
So
nice
over
stream,
time,
dude.
The amount of loot you get increases through
Welcome.
the game just because the number
Welcome.
of rare and magic monsters increases.
Massive.
And due to the way the currency
Hopefully
drops
your people
work
enjoy their
in PoE
time here.
Too, the more of those you get,
I
the
actually
more
got,
rare currency you'll
I
get,
got a
which
few
means that, like,
exalts
it just
throughout
feels like
like
you get
Act
currency.
1 through 3.
That isn't a phenomenon that I understand for sure. Like, you should be getting more currency as you go through the acts for sure.
Well,
Like,
we
that's
know.
as far as I understand.
Several
Thankfully,
times I've been joking about making new characters to farm currency, and a lot of people like said they agreed. So
Thankfully, we can relatively easily, if we need to, pretty much after this, add some logging for that and go and see what's actually happening. Because
that is unusual. Like, I can't explain why that would be the case.
I concur. There isn't. It shouldn't work that way. It shouldn't be that way. So if that is the case, which isn't necessarily true, but it could be, we're never going to rule out any bug or unintended thing where we can get some logging for that relatively fast and just check the data and actually see what's happening.
But
What do you
I
mean,
also
Trish?
do want to understand why some people feel like they get a lot of currency and others don't.
Yeah, I don't know,
I
Hex
don't-
on you.
again, I just don't understand what can be the responsible for that.
I would say I struggled having augmentations and regals more than exalts,
Like,
personally.
I wouldn't say that
I had like
wouldn't say
no
that every
regals
time I
throughout
want 6 mods, I can get them, but
the
I would say that I'm
entire
using
like
Exalt,
entirety of the
I'm using
campaign.
I'm using regals all through the campaign.
And that's because I just didn't
like,
get a lot of yellow drops.
Like from up
I
from
bought
whites
most
to
of my stuff
reds,
off
like,
vendors.
continuously as
Who
you're
is
going
this
through.
man?
So like, there's something odd about that I need to understand.
Crap, I missed it.
Yeah,
I was
mean,
yapping.
even, like,
Crap,
I'd
what'd he
myself,
say?
I got
Dude,
very,
he's
like,
saying
few
he's
regals
using
stuff to
regals
use,
and
like,
exalts
as
all
funny
through the
as,
cam when he's playing,
not on the
upgrading
rich
stuff all the
end
time. Like,
campaign.
what?
Well, how
I
many
mean,
is
I
a
feel
queue?
like I feel like his
I'd say for
idea of
campaign,
what is a
I
lot
dropped
is not a lot.
Probably 4 regals.
Yeah, this is a lot. Like, I
Hang
did
on,
2
we're talking about
items.
dropping
Yeah,
over, we're
because
talking about
Damn,
dropping too, right?
I definitely struggled having
So,
regals 'cause I just didn't get a lot of yellow
because
drops.
of crafting being so
I don't now
RNG,
yet.
I will generally have opted in. I've tried both.
Most of
obviously,
my stuff comes from vendors, no joke.
Between like disenchanting, but I find that I benefit more from gambling than from actually trying to crafting.
No, it
My
should be
experience with
more,
crafting
Troyish.
Is picking up
If
every
you're-
blue, looking for 1 stat, regaling, and then that missing, and the item not being usable. So
If you're not disenchanting rares, then you certainly won't get a lot of regals. Like,
Dude!
I've tried both.
Right. Well, I can't say much as to that, but like, that is the reason.
Mr.
that
Zazarian,
regals
have you
are
ever
low.
said thank you
If-
once?
if-
Oh no,
like,
dude. Oh
That
no.
is where like the primary source of regals through the campaign would be.
Yeah,
disenchanting.
all right, Omega. I was getting my butt kicked a bit today. A
That
little
doesn't
bit
say
of
that
Prague.
regals
How's it going
is
here?
better, maybe it is, but
We're watching this.
like that
We're
does
watching
explain
this.
That particular one currency.
Jonathan is
There's also
just
quite a few
not
alchemies
playing
and
the
stuff
same
as well.
client, or his
Yeah, alchemies are
idea
kind
of
not
what is a
really
lot
intended
is
to be
actually
common anymore
very
because
low.
The intended way to go through to rare is more via regaling. So like alchemies are like relative, like alchemies are the kind of like, oh awesome, I got an alchemy. That's like a kind of that's the uncommon thing that you do occasionally, not the like kind of common workaday crafting that you're doing all the time.
Yeah, I get that.
So,
Alchemies
like,
technically
it
are
should be
rare.
that the regals are the primary source of.
This
of
game is not
crafted
crafting.
rares.
I hate that they even
Yeah.
use
Well,
crafting
Well,
as
the
the
good
word. It's
benefit here is
gambling.
we have so
It
many
is.
players right now that we can just get some data and get some analytics very, very quickly about what this actually is.
Yeah.
And you might find that it's
Yeah,
just
John's
very,
definitely out of touch.
sensitive to
Or just like or
there's
just what
always he
he
gonna be
thinks
a
is a
portion of
lot
unlucky players
just
and a
isn't a
portion
lot.
of
Like if he
unlucky
thinks like
players. I
Yeah.
definitely
even
know that
20
there's
regals throughout a
lot of
23
swinginess, of
hour
course,
campaign is a
that
lot.
can
It's like not that
happen,
much because
again,
you just have so much RNG on the
might
items
be
you're trying to
that.
craft.
I know you're
And that's
probably playing more
okay
than most, so arguably
if you can do it consistently. But I literally, I don't
you
even
should
think
have
I
at least
had
the most amount of data from a
12
purely
regals
anecdotal
throughout my entire
perspective,
campaign
so,
run. I had more exalts than regals.
You probably have the best average going on, the most accurate average, I should say. But that being said, like, we
Yeah, I
have
mean
the
that's just
capacity to look
random.
into this
I
very
don't
quickly
expect to
and
get a
look
ton
at
of
it, so
exalts, but
probably
if you're gonna like
today
force
figure
players to
out
craft to get past stuff,
what's
obviously
going on and
you
whether or not
should
it meets
have
our expectations,
buffed
so.
loot, even if
So,
it's just the campaign.
The next thing I want to ask you about is
yeah, like,
the
I hit
element
walls.
thresholds. You have like how easy it is for the player to be stunned.
Yeah,
to
I don't
be
know.
frozen and stuff.
Seriously.
And I'd
what
say
he's
that
saying
feels
is
a little
definitely
bit
just out of
overly
touch and just
punishing
not
when you
true.
don't have
So
too
I
many
don't.
solutions or tools,
His
right?
vision
Where one
is
charm
just not.
slot, and it is quite difficult to get a second or third.
It's not it.
And that's competing for freeze immune, stun immune, poison immune.
Honestly,
ignite
remove the
immune,
charm
and
system
chaos
because
immune.
it's garbage. Just get rid of
sorry,
it, dude.
chaos resist,
Charms are just trash.
And bleed.
Get 'em
Now,
out.
I would say poison, ignite, and bleed from the monsters don't actually do that much right now. But if it did, like this would be a very, very heavily competed for, like singular solution to doing anything with that. And as an addendum to the question, I wonder, would you consider letting belts get more implicit charm slots based on item level? So like maybe at like 50 plus they have 2, and at 81 they get 3.
I mean, we probably will increase the number of charm slots. Like that is something that we like.
Maybe not for
we're
his
intending
build,
to do and
Taylor.
never got to yet.
Poison for me is kind of tough right now. It definitely hurts, but
I don't think that
like
ailment
poison's for
threshold
sure
was
like
right
my
before.
worst element to fight against.
Effectively, ailments didn't exist before we changed that. So like we needed something that was going to actually cause them to happen. Like during
Yeah,
the
choice.
campaign,
I mean, a lot of
frozen,
people just
like,
end up
3
using
times the whole
rarity
campaign.
increase anyways.
It was a bit silly.
Do note we didn't actually universally double the stunning. I know you mentioned that just to clear
It was
that
only
up.
it was ailments that changed, not stunning.
They stun you more as things get higher level. The expected amount of stun threshold you should have goes up. So it's not, but it's pretty minimal throughout the entire campaign. But what we also increased is the you gain a bunch of stun threshold when you get light stun, so
Nice,
you have
Taylor.
way lower probability of getting stun locked. But then I would also point out
I
like
get
some
stun
of those
locked all the
charms
time.
just suck because it doesn't even mitigate the stun that stunned you. And that is just something that we were like, we initially did, and they were like, oh, we need to change this, and then it just got lost in the weeds. So like, the other thing is changing those. And I know the resistance ones work this way as well. Like those just need to also cancel out the thing that caused it. Or mitigate the thing that caused it. And where some do and some don't. So that
I heard
is
you
just
like wiener in your mouth. By
By
the time this ends, the double
Oh.
chance will be gone. Happy birthday, Mert, you old fuckwit. Birthday, wick 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 birthday, Fields, birthday, man.
More slots so that people
Tier
are running more. Like, 1 is
2,
not what you should be running.
saying 72 months.
Certainly at high end
Dude,
minimum.
thank
and,
you
like, probably
very much.
3 and, like,
I
sometimes
don't like
4
wiener in
would
my
be
mouth.
unreasonable.
It's not my damn
But it's
birthday.
interesting that even
Thanks
the
for
ailment
72
threshold
months.
change we made
Much freaking love, dude. Seriously.
has not
6
really
years.
most of the ailments that you just
saying,
said. Saying that, like,
you old bag.
not really doing
Dude,
much.
is it your birthday? It's not my birthday.
Like,
Dude,
that wasn't
thank
even,
you
like, even
very
halving
much,
that
Sam.
number apparently wasn't enough to make those be a thing that you need to care about. Like, only
Thank you, thank you,
Frozen is
thank
the one
you.
that really kind of changed, I think.
Yeah,
in,
Frozen.
For the most part, that you actually noticed. The stun thing is separate. It's not part of the ailment threshold change.
Yeah, I mean, but if
Happy
if they do
belated
a lot of
birthday,
damage,
Sam.
That'd be very overwhelming right now, and things we can deal with.
Well, but I mean, yeah, like it's not like we want it to be overwhelming.
It's a
but
bit of a
we want
different.
it to
It's a bit of a different game.
Right,
Like
but
when
we-
you get the mod and modifiers and map mods and everything
Right.
involved.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But you know, it needs to. It does need to happen sometimes in order for it to actually
It's Sayan's
be something
birthday,
that feels
DK.
like
And how you
a
doing,
game.
DK?
So now we just need.
Thank
to
you, though,
look at the
Sayan, dude.
actual
6 years is a long
damage
time. We
side
also
of
had
it.
Marley at 6 years. That's freaking crazy.
And do you think the implicit will be tied
Not
to item level
89,
at all, so it'll
dude.
be something that you don't necessarily have to do a crazy investment or
I
path
don't.
on the tree?
I don't know what the answer to that is. I have
Okay.
to think about how we want to introduce that. Like that is a one way. I mean, but there might be other ways. I just have to look at that.
The other thing is like charm. There's a.
I don't know. There's a few of you that are 6 years. I think we have I think we have like 2 74 monthers. There's a few people that are up there at 74. Maybe like 6
A
people.
lot of the modifiers on them are just
Maybe like yeah, maybe like 6 people are like 74. Maybe even more. Because some people sub and they just never talk. I remember we had someone who like literally has only ever chatted twice, and they were subbed for like the entirety of me streaming. So it's hard to know.
At the same time, unless of course
Yeah,
it
I
makes
know.
take
It has
longer,
saying
which,
COVID
we'd rather just get
changed
up to the number of
everything.
charms first, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jodgy, I know.
21, we have masteries.
They
I'm a
mentioned
huge
6
fan of those,
charms.
especially for temporary
That
solutions.
is better, but
Is that something you're
I just
open
hate the
bringing
charm
back in
system.
PoE 2?
I'm not a huge fan of them because they ended up devaluing the notables a lot. Like the notables became really bland when masteries were introduced, and it's like, and it also means that like the
yeah,
where
well
you
the
are on
founders
tree doesn't
also
matter as much
got
either, which like kind of wasn't
lost in
amazing. So I think that we,
transition
like,
when they added it because it just
prefer
gave it to
having a
random
situation
people
where
that
the
like
notables are more interesting.
never
I do think
subbed
that in PoE 2,
or were gifted
the
subs back in
notables
the
are
day.
Very interesting. Like it's something that
So not everyone that should have a founder does.
notably good.
You have a good one, Sane.
So
Thanks
there's
for 6
more
years,
like,
dude.
yeah, but there is
Much
more work to
freaking
do,
love,
but I
man.
just-
Frig
I
off,
don't
you
love
old
the way
bag.
that the masteries kind of like blandified
You might still have it,
the
Taylor.
notables, and so,
You just might have to
yeah, I
enable
think
it.
We can. That's probably. I think I prefer it. Just
Well, I think Mark said
putting
that
the power in the
they
notables
they
rather
don't
than
work
the
as like they wanted
But
them
I
to.
don't feel like they're directly competing at each other, right? You can still have like really interesting masteries and notables. Like those notables can still be super interesting.
I mean, there's only so many stats that that can exist, but
Jonathan-
fundamentally,
Jonathan is pissed that Zazarian said
the
that.
way that like
He's
you know, due to
pissed.
mod dilution. So like you have to.
Dude, John literally is
have to
so
budget that at
pretentious.
some
He
level.
just thinks no one else
Otherwise you just get a situation
understands.
where you've got so many
It's
things in your
crazy,
character that,
dude.
like everything, that, like nothing.
If
no one
anyone
thing matters at
understands,
all.
it's like Zazarian
so,
out of
like,
all
that's-
people. Dude literally has made a
little bit much more
career
about
playing
this one
Path of
personally, which I
Exile
do
for like
agree
10
there are
years.
Downsides, but on the other hand, it's the one that added it to PoE1, so like
I don't know. Mark's
a
the
little
savior,
bit
dude.
like-
Well, I don't
Like,
think it was,
Mark's
I
the
don't think it
savior,
was
man.
obvious at the time.
John
what-
just
what
sucks.
downsides that would have. I mean, that was certainly not something that I would.
John
There's
just
also just like
sucks.
the passive tree is like overwhelmingly.
They do.
complicated to
They do
people,
have it,
and so having
Hex
this
on you, but
extra
that's a whole
layer on
charm
it was
itself.
Probably my biggest thing of like.
And people already
oh,
do
no,
that.
we
They'll have
made
like
the thing
one
that scares people the most in the
anti-freeze
series,
charm and then 2 rarity
because
charms
there's
or
this
something.
extra layer that they have to, an extra keyword they have to know about, and that was my main thing of like, maybe we should just simplify the thing that is like the scariest thing. Like that was a big argument to me, but there are, there's intermediary grounds there as well, but yeah, there's like downsides to it for sure.
Oh, on all charms?
I agree.
I don't know. Then like you have to have
there's
rarity, I
also
feel like, dude.
Maybe a way to
It's
make
not a
them
bad
work.
idea,
I
but
don't-
I don't know.
But I mean,
Basing the
what's the
game
goal
around
of
like
it,
increased
right?
rarity,
If
I
the
feel like it's
goal
just like when
is
it's a must-have, just
to
kind of
give you
sucks.
temporary solutions, then we don't necessarily have to solve it there.
Like if
we
I
can solve
have
it
to have
in
rarity on
other
my gear to have
ways,
any
at
type of
least, or
drop, it
something.
just
That is
I
also
think
true.
I don't know. I
It's
feel
gonna
like that
give you
just feels
the-
bad.
Like the downsides that we see that those.
Not saying I should have get the
It's
like
also
the
just,
best
as
stuff
a,
or an
as a
abundance
player,
without
it
it,
is just
but
very fun. Like I absolutely enjoy it. And it definitely, I can tell you, it does not make me feel like notables are devalued. I was even more exciting because you
Well,
get
it's
it
hard
when
to
you get the
identify
notable.
that in the. It's hard to identify that in the moment because like, you don't notice the lack of something like. You don't
John
notice the lack of
John
something-
looks
something
to
could have
Mark
been in the same way that you.
so he doesn't feel
notice,
alone in his
like,
takes.
the thing that's in front of you that you're enjoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Last
Like, it's hard
Epoch's
to
new
appreciate
update should
the
be
fact
really
that
good
the
now.
notable is less cool in PoE1.
Sure.
Because you're not thinking about that. You're thinking, I want the.
I mean, you can at least rest assured that we're going to think about why they were important and what we could do to solve them, whether it be that means or another. Like,
Yeah.
The good thing about these is all of the things almost everything you bring up is going to result in some sort of multi-hour discussion between us over the next week. So,
That's good.
yeah, which is the huge benefit of these things for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, thank you for doing it. But the next one's something I care a lot about, especially as a hardcore player. Defenses seem very undertuned compared to offense, and just like anecdotally, if the two options, right? If we look at it in a bit of hyperbole, where I get to watch like tankiness be out of hand or offense be out of hand. So like literally somebody walking up to a boss and one-shotting it, or looking at somebody standing there be immortal, right? I always think like if one should be out of hand, it's more interesting when the defensive one is out of hand. You still get to see the boss abilities and stuff like that. It seems so much easier.
I don't know if Darth has
I
been
think most patches have been like this, where it's always
a
easier to
PoEer
scale
since the
offense
beginning, like Zazarian.
rather than defense. And
I know he's
wonder
picked up a
little bit
lot
how you
of
feel about
pace
that.
lately, but I think Darth is technically somewhat new as a big streamer.
Well,
I
you're
think
not wrong. that
within like
often the best
the community. I know he's played Diablo and stuff like that. I could be totally wrong.
stacking all of the damage.
I just feel like he
Yeah.
only somewhat recently kind of like
I mean, we've suffered from this for a long while.
more
It
PoE
is
than
ultimately
other
a consequence
ARPGs,
of
but
just having
I'm
the
probably
game be,
wrong.
Like, again, talking about the hip firing. And
I feel
things
like he's
being
really new though
unregulated
compared to
with respect
Zazarian.
The levels of uniques and builds and stuff going everywhere and hard to think of it all and like. But it is generally true.
Yeah, I don't know
that we
enough
have
about him. I just know
more
that he hasn't been around
offensive-
as
I guess
long as
people find
Zazarian.
damage in general to be
I
more
think he's
fun as an
relatively like
investment
new
avenue,
That
for
is
sure.
for the
real
scene as like a
thing,
figure.
is that most people would prefer to invest in offense generally.
I
Like,
agree
that
with
is
that,
mostly the case.
but then shouldn't defense be even more encouraged then for the people that want to? Because even as a hardcore player, I almost feel like it's the opposite. Like anecdotally, for example, for point one, and full disclosure, I have not been able to get to Arbiter yet, right? We're very early in the league, so I don't know if you made them do less damage. But in point one, other people were doing some testing, and I asked softcore players to try a little bit, and there were people that were getting one-shot by Arbiter moves with 15k life. Some that are like kind of hard. So as a hardcore player, what I
All right,
felt
Marley.
like then, I was
Thank
like,
you very much
well,
for 6 years,
since
dude.
I can't really tank, like there are multiple moves here that I can't tank. Not just like one big telegraphed one-shot, but there are multiple here that I can't tank. So what I did to overprepare instead was I went in with so much damage that I just one-shot the boss. Which is a little bit deflating for me. I would say Arbiter was one of the least fun bosses. Whereas I would way rather go in and be so tanky that I can make a few mistakes, and then end up leaving.
It's quite hard to split the difference between being tanky and being immortal. Like, surprisingly hard to get that right. And when I say that, it's because you can regenerate life very quickly. And so if you don't die...
Yo, what's
like,
up?
okay, and the other thing as well is that
What's
bosses
the
Watching the
doing
interview.
those big hits
Oh,
take a long
sorry.
time, right? And like, the
Shut
bosses
up,
can't
Tyler.
hit you again
No,
immediately
my bad,
afterwards.
guys.
It's like they'll do their big ability, and it's not like it's going to just immediately follow up with something that's going to chip you down either. So
Yeah,
like,
but
if
we
you
can't
fail,
tank them.
no, but what I'm getting towards is that if if you don't have something that's going to do a lot of damage at the for those big hits, like, we just have to be very careful, because like if like let's say that one of those big hits did only, like, you know, a third of your life, you know, something like that. I don't think that then the boss would ever be able to kill you ever, because it would have to effectively be able to do 3 of those, like, of those things before you can regenerate them. So what you're really asking for, and this is something we discussed a lot in the past, by the way. What you're asking for is for a more attrition-based gameplay
No
style,
respect,
like a more
Bentu.
MMO style
No
style
respect.
thing.
So yeah,
And what you're really saying then is that
Oh
you want flasks to do
Jonathan's
regeneration,
exhausting,
and you want
dude.
regeneration to be controlled way more in general, and then have a more attrition-based gameplay style, and that kind of just
Dude,
isn't a
I
PoE
don't. Jonathan is
way of
just
doing
a
things.
lot.
Now, like, I mean,
Dude's
that
the main
could be a thing
character.
we could change to. Like, that would be an option that we would have, but it would be like, it would be the balance change of the universe
Did you just
to
say
do
it's
something like that. Like,
Dude.
it would be a
attrition
complete
based? Bro, that's what it is right
redesign
now.
and, like,
Jonathan
like,
is
the way
exhausted.
everything works. Like,
I was saying he's like the main
change
character.
to more attrition
He,
style would just be like
Jonathan just
you know, an
ain't it,
apocalyptic
man.
level of balance change compared to what we have, for sure.
This dude just.
I mean, he's like
crazy.
right and wrong at the same time in it.
Yeah, but he's acting as if there's no balance. Like, he's acted like it's not that simple. Like, yeah, no duh. But
what that means.
like,
So
try to think of
when
something
you're
else.
leaning
He just
more
wants it his
towards
way.
attrition-based gameplay, right? You're recognizing as a player
He just shuts everything
that
down
you've
and
entered a fight that
essentially
you're maybe
saying
not
you
fully
don't
ready for,
understand.
You're maybe getting the boss to 30%. You're not able to finish it, and you're like, I have to leave. I have to leave this fight. I'm not strong enough. As opposed to punching the player with death, you're already just taking away the loot anyway. There's not an XP loss anyway at the moment.
I mean, that's, I guess we're not thinking in those terms at all. Like, we're just like,
It's tough now. I don't have too much experience with like team lead stuff, but I can like imagine.
So that
right?
question, I would say, only makes sense in attrition.
And I don't know, maybe behind the scenes, not in this scenario, Jonathan's actually really cool. I'm sure he's cool.
The boss doing
But the way he's handled this, it just everything is. It's not that easy. It's not. Yeah, like dude, no one expects it to be easy. You know, like no one expects these things to be easy. Like there's so many different variables. Like yeah, like people understand that.
So what I'm saying is,
like
so
Mark
what are you not
is doing a good job.
Well, I think you do have attrition-based combat on a lot of bosses, right? Because there are many of the like campaign bosses that don't necessarily have one shots.
Like Mark's reasonable John just
but
isn't.
Even just on like as a Viper, as an example, right? I was having a like quite long fight because I wasn't particularly powerful at Viper, so I think I had to reset 7 times without it killing me, but 7 times before I was able to actually kill Viper on my build because I was running out of flasks. And you don't have a good way to regen them during the fight.
So I'm not when I'm talking about attrition gameplay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about attrition in the sense that your life pool is something that goes down over long periods of time rather than something that moves around.
Well, it effectively is through the flask, right?
Yeah, that is. It is. That is literally what's happening with the flasks.
Yes,
like, I was no longer able to recover.
So yes, to the extent that we have attrition-based gameplay, the attrition is through the flask. You are correct. Like attrition via flask is what we have. So what I'm saying though there.
Curious, dude.
Oh. Okay, sure, fair enough. Like, yeah, the flasks do give you the attrition, and so therefore
the campaign is quite.
Okay.
In that,
dude, he's just trying to fight to fight. What a dickhead, dude.
Comes off, so to speak, at in game where like it can be very It's certainly the case with a concept like Leech that the moment that a boss can't one-shot you at all, which.
Well, okay, like if you removed all sources of flask charge gain out, like that you could do in a boss fight, then you could probably reduce the size of the big monster hits.
Well, just to check real quick as well, just because specifically talking about Arbiter, there's kind of a few things going on. Like, it is the intention that the skills, and which happens in the game and PoE1 as well, and like some people might argue it's some sort of bad design or not. I kind of like it. There are other skills that are more like your personal agility or dexterity based, and you have to avoid them, and that's like, you know, stand in the elder donuts and the, you know, the dances and the like move into the lanes and the, you know, bullet hells-esque things where it's like that's not really your character as much. Like, are you thinking those are fine, or are those, whether or not they're exactly tuned in this context, like in terms of timing, but are you okay with the idea that those kill you and you don't get to make, like, whether or not they could be more lenient?
Dude, I feel bad for John. He's gonna get memed after this hard.
Are you okay with those killing you and kind of your defenses don't really matter? Like, are those the problem?
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to regen
so
some
for
stuff,
the
but
Arbiter,
like,
I feel like there are multiple, right? You have the corridor move,
but it's on the flask.
that was
But then that makes
always a
Abyss as a
one-shot,
must-have.
right? And sometimes, obviously, like you were saying, that wasn't like the main topic, but then
Ziz is essentially just asking for more options.
Like Quinn running slightly in the wrong
You know what I
direction,
mean?
and then he sees the
Seriously,
corridors the
just
other
more
way, and
options.
he's like, oh, it's over for me.
He's bringing
You
up stuff
have
that
the
just
Arbiter
don't
move,
have.
where he
You
does,
just
like,
don't have
the fake out
options.
meteor, where he starts like firing the beam into it and stuff. I guess the way, like, as a player,
Welcome
I would want
back,
defense to be
Omega.
is the more I invest into defense, the larger my room for error should be, which is where I'm feeling there's a big disjoint now, right? Where it just isn't.
John, dude,
and
is
then I'm entirely
not a good look.
Full
Not a good look,
because I'm
dude.
still having enough defense that those like
Literally
mid-range hits and small hits, they're still
just
not
trying to
one-shotting me.
just not agree, like you
All
said.
I need to be able to do is tank them. And then, yeah, I just don't have
Hopefully
an
he
option
reflects.
for huge one-shots at all.
And he's like, yeah, I was
Okay, so yeah, I understand.
just being dumb or something, dude. I don't know.
From point of view from that one.
It's not my damn birthday, dude, and I'm not your freaking milord.
The main thing is just we're going to have to be really careful with the balance to make sure that it isn't now just like, you know, 20% of investment of the way there. Now you don't get one shot by them, so you just hold down, you know, whatever button on the boss or whatever, and now you're leeching permanently and you're fine.
People can change now,
that's
right?
the concern. So like,
People can change.
if it is a like,
This is definitely like he looks like a
universal-
tool, dude, for sure.
Okay, like for example, would it be okay that, I mean, look, the corridor.
He didn't even
let's
like
use that
listen to
as example.
Zazarian, and then he's
So
like,
the
yeah, you're
corridor
right.
Obviously has some like, okay, it's too hard to
bro.
get. We need to probably improve
Come on.
the way the lanes spawn such that you don't get into that situation where like it is literally impossible for me to run there unless I have X or Y. There is the thing where like, okay, for example, if like life regen wasn't regulated, like, do you really think any player in the game, like this is, I'm not saying this is wrong or right, should just be able to AFK in that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so definitely I prefer that over watching people one-shot bosses. 100%. With enough investment.
Well, look, no, we won't disagree, but just like, I'm just curious. Do you actually think it should be okay or able to?
Yeah, I'm not entirely against something just being a straight up one-shot, like failing the memory game, for example, in PoE1. Like, I'm not inherently against that.
Like, mechanics are good, yeah.
The
You know,
current
like
ones are a little bit like too fast to be those one-shots.
Yeah, I agree. I just think there is two problems here, which I'm interested in. One is mechanics feeling fair, which there are things here that are unfair, and that is bad, and they need changing. And I will get that adjusted today. And I'll get that on live as soon as I can, which might even also be today. The other thing would be that the bigger thing, which is that investing in defense.
Jonathan literally looks like an upset child.
Not
Dude,
allowing.
I guess we've all been there one way or
from
another.
The corridor skill, there's just like,
He literally looks like an
investing in
upset child.
defense enough. It gives you enough
Pray,
defense against
dude.
things in general.
Oh
against the
gosh,
bosses, which maybe isn't the case. It might be that. It might be that yes, investing in defense needs to be more advantageous right now for sure. And like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing more, and I've spoken about this before in the past. There's nothing more demoralizing than putting hundreds of hours into a boss and then it's just like deleted. And it's like, well, great. That was.
But it's also demoralizing to just watch someone sit there and face tank it and just attack it with no, like, not even having to move. Like, that's also
especially without the gear.
Like, it's kind of it's almost a bit ridiculous to discuss like which of these two horrible outcomes is better. Like, you know, like, surely the actual answer is like neither of them should be happening.
No,
You know?
I agree. It's just that it's pretty rare that we've seen defense be the really OP one. That's all, right? Like, we very often see offense.
Maybe it is, but like, I think that's probably also a lot around the fact that people like building glass cannons. Like, that is a thing people just like doing. And so, like, the amount of incentivization, and so then there's the issue of like,
what's up, control?
Well, I mean, let me put it this way: even if right now, and I don't know whether this is the case or not, like, it probably isn't, but even if defense was overtuned compared to damage, I think that you're still not going to incentivize people to do that until you get to the point where they're immortal. Like, I don't think getting 80% of the way to immortality is actually enough even for people to still not want to build glass cannons.
He's just putting his
And so you
opinion
kind of got,
as
like, that
facts,
issue of,
though.
like, it's just really, really hard to get that balance right.
Dude, he's literally just throwing stuff out there and saying that
isn't to say that we won't
what I think is
try,
right.
But I'm just saying that, like, it is people. There
Come
just tends
on.
to be an erring on the side of offense for that reason, and I don't think either immortality or insta-killing bosses is right. So, like, you know, that people probably concentrate on the damage more.
Yeah, especially. I mean, we have a bigger problem, especially with just in general, just thinking about it. Like,
Nah, dude, we got
damage
marked.
Also,
We
now
have marked.
resulting in crowd control.
We have
amplifies
marked.
the problem even further.
Yeah.
Because that having the boss be heavy stunned and or frozen or whatever, like, majority of the fight is just even more of a reason to just go ballistic on damage. Yeah, there are problems here, 100%. I'm just thinking of random other things that.
Well, yeah, I
also
have
help
other
mitigate it.
questions about defense as well. So armor break, I would say, like, effectively disables armor, right, as a defense for hardcore. It's sort of like when it comes around, it kind of like shuts down your main form of defense. You're feeling like very tanky if you do invest into armor. Well, ideally, still armor needs a buff. But I guess the problem I have with Armor Break and Fizz Overwhelm in PoE 1 is that it's just so crazy to me to have something effectively shut down your defense from time to time. So, yeah, are you happy with Armor Break and Fizz Overwhelm being in the game?
Well, in PoE 2 context, I am not happy with
armor
the
is
current
not in a
state
good
of Monster
spot.
Armor Break. No, that is also on my change today list. So.
Well, if you're playing hardcore hex on you, you have to build tanky, right?
Be that they're breaking flat amounts of armor, and that isn't.
His
so
question
the
was
more you
kind of
stack,
like
the less
towards
significant the armor break
hardcore.
becomes from the
But he's like,
enemies.
even if I build
I
tanky, it doesn't
suspect
matter.
There might be some sources of
Because I just die
percentage based in
anyways,
there,
so I
which
might
is
as well
just
build
like,
damage. But I want to
it
build defense,
disincentivizes-
right?
I mean, it just means that
At least
the
that's how
more
I
you
took
have,
it.
The more you're relying on armor, the more punished it's going to be. So I just need to do a quick audit. There's not that many sources, thankfully, so it won't take long, and I just need to make sure that it's working. And then there are possibly cases where it is just doing too much, and yeah, it's just like, yeah, it acts as an insane weakness. But yeah, I know 100% agreed it is not in the right spot, and also on the today list. So I need to make sure that we go back, get the community team to go back through this afterwards and make sure I don't forget about all these things. But no, that one I already have. There's that.
He
the
definitely
speed, and a
disagrees,
bunch of
dude.
these other
Jonathan wants
infrastructure,
it his way,
a
man.
whole bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, we've gone over a lot already.
It's like almost he
Do
hates
you
the
think
player
short
base.
term we could see just like
That's
a
like-
straight up number buff to armor.
That's
while
the
you're
feel
trying to
I'm
work
getting.
out a
Like, he
long-term
hates
solution?
the player base, and he.
Oh no, but I'm not
like,
talking about a long-term solution.
I
for
don't
the
know.
armor
Like, that's
breaking.
just
I'm talking about a
obviously
daily
like that's
result.
just how I feel.
know,
but it's
but,
like he,
that's
when the
what
way
I
he
meant.
talks
Oh,
about
I see
it,
what
he
you're
just
saying.
he
Sorry,
talks
sorry,
as if like
misunderstood. Yeah,
everyone
sure.
is just stupid. They don't know what they want. He
can't-
knows
in
what they
order
should
to
have.
be able to immediately
Like,
say
it
that.
just
In order to
it
change
feels so
armor, we need to
controlling.
Be able to understand why it's bad. And I
It
don't
feels
think just
so
changing the number right
controlling,
now is
dude.
right for
Like,
that.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, I don't think we've fully understood.
but
the
maybe
few
I'm
things, like,
personally
we,
attacked. I don't know.
There was some
Maybe, I don't know.
overwhelm on some bosses, and we removed it. And there was, there were too many skills converting too much into element, and I think we pushed back a lot of that. So like, it obviously makes the armor more effective against those abilities. And like,
Yeah,
there's
Mark's
a lot
owning,
more
dude.
of
He's
that
doing a
we
great job
probably
at
need to
listening,
reevaluate
providing
as well across the
constructive,
board.
concise feedback.
Um,
Jonathan just goes on a rant, and then he's like, "Wait a
but
minute,
that
you're right,
stuff's
actually."
really fast to change. As for just a
But I don't
global
think so.
number
But
shift,
'Cause I didn't
that's
have
an
an issue.
example right there of why just changing the number
Like-
wouldn't have even helped, right? Like, if the problem is elemental damage, then making armor stronger wouldn't have done anything for that. So like,
Yeah.
it's so important to understand the reason before we just make changes.
Obviously, the danger there by moving more fizz is it then makes it worse for
Yeah, possibly
non-armor
Digi,
builds
but
as well, but that increases the power of armor.
like you want the
differentials
game
to
to be
others, and so
enjoyable,
there's-
dude. Like the whole
gotta be
game
careful with that,
starts
but,
essentially at
well, maybe.
mapping.
Because I
The campaign
maybe-
shouldn't
maybe
be
there's something we can
tedious.
do more in a minute.
Cesarian's bringing up just like,
Anecdotally,
you know,
I've definitely
pretty
run
solid
access
questions.
to
The charm
different
system
forms of
sucks.
defense, and I know that is
Like-
definitely an EA problem where just not everything is in yet.
Yeah, obviously it's
just to,
early,
like, anecdotally run
but
through my experience, I am a Smith of Kitava, so I have like the shared res and the shared max res. So I'm 89, 90, 90, and for a long time I was like 85, 86, 87, so very high alley res. And on top of that, I was wearing a
Which
cloak
means,
of
yes, currently moving more into fizz is probably going to be to your detriment.
Yeah, sure. But even with that, and a Cloak of Flames, and I can't remember the name, Hollow something, but there's the unique helmet with like 15% fizz reduction. Even with all of that mitigation, I was like, at the start of today's stream, I was very rough until I got my 4th lab. Like I was able to like improve it a little bit, but it felt a little bit weird to me as a player that I've like my entire ascendancy was defense based. I picked up every defense I could on the tree, and I was trying so hard to get really good gear too, and it was very rough on defense.
I mean, what I immediately probably will do after is I'm just going to grab your character, put it locally, and then just kind of have a look at that. It's just so I can get a better exact understanding, but like, sure.
I can give you a snapshot before I because now with regen it has been.
We can.
We have it all.
We have it all. Don't worry.
Perfect.
We can take anyone's character from live and just play with it. It's not a.
Perfect. Yeah.
Shut up,
the regen
John.
did make a big difference, but I'm still seeing.
Shut up.
A lot of issues there. Another thing that has been brought up a lot, that was a really good point, was
yeah,
we see
control.
chaos
I
damage
mean,
very early
it's
in
weird.
PvP.
Jonathan, which is on the left,
generally
he
something
just
we'd
for
see
some
a lot
reason
later. Would you be
is
open to
just
considering
acting
something
so
like
pretentious,
the,
dude.
Chaos Soul Core
As if
being
like
a rune instead, something that we can like get early.
no one knows what they're talking
It's
about.
definitely a big part of what makes
And the
Viper so
issues
scary,
aren't
is
issues,
it's
and he's
almost
okay with
impossible
it because his
to get chaos
experience
res early
is
on.
different. Like it's yeah, Jonathan. Like, dude, this is a bad This is a bad look for Jonathan. It just like it is.
Like a sort of more of a hard
Bad look for John.
concern because.
He does. He definitely feels attacked for sure,
Like,
and I can't blame him for that. I mean,
it's just balanced to be okay, but in hardcore where you're wanting to definitely not die, it's like a different concern. And I don't think we would have thought about it in that way.
like I don't blame him for feeling
It is
attacked.
sort of a medium core
He's just
concern.
handling it
It's
really
like,
poorly.
If you can't get past
If
the boss,
that's the
you're already
case.
stuck there.
Oh sure, but like I mean the damage, like it's balanced assuming 0 chaos resist, right? So like.
Well, Viper's hard.
It is hard. It is a
think-
hard
I
fight.
think
Just,
she's the
that's just a
hardest boss
side
of the
note
game.
that's separate. But
Yeah.
like in terms of just the fact that it's chaos damage, I don't think is as relevant in standard play.
Dude,
because,
John
like,
says he's
the-
had
that
none of
we-
these
we're
issues.
balanced assuming you're
Taylor,
chaos
he said he's
rules,
had
and
no
so what
currency
do
issues,
that
no
counts?
socket issues,
Obviously
no
the big
quality
purple
issues. He's been able to get
medium
gear
sword
upgrades consistently.
I
He
wanted
said
to
that
make
he's
sure
literally said that
just
he's
creates so
had
much
no
space on
issues with the
ground, it's a
campaign.
little bit lacking
He says
clarity
he's
of the
played every night.
game. And
He
then
messes around with
the
stuff every
scary
night.
thing
Right? I'm assuming.
That's what he said, man. He said that he has no
so
issues.
The way it works is
with what
aside
people
from
are saying.
Poison itself dealing chaos damage. The only
I
other
just
things
think
that
what
are
he
chaos
thinks
damage are anything that is purple.
Isn't a lot is a lot.
So
Like that's how I see it.
Stabs and slashes, none
Cause
of
it's
that is
clear as
chaos.
day. He said white mobs
So it's
aren't
physical- it's
tanky.
physical hits and the
Like
poison, if it's
no
poison
joke,
to you,
dude.
then it-
All the
yeah,
issues
okay,
he
but-
said, like all the
because
issues that
because
people are
the poison
complaining
damage
about, the
based on
thousands of
hit,
people
your armor effectively mitigates
are
the,
saying that he hasn't experienced
your
that.
armor mitigates the chaos damage
Like
because
I
of
think
the
his
side.
vision
Right.
and what he thinks is a lot,
yeah.
just like it's
So,
just delusional.
The medial thing is
What's
a
up, Philip?
problem, but
How you
it's, like,
doing?
more of a fairness problem because ideally you should be able to dodge that pretty reliably every time. Right now, a bit of a mess.
It is.
I don't know now. I mean, dude, if he can just,
But aside from
if he
that,
can
it would
maybe just
only be the
cool
poison
down,
of which, yes,
take a
your
step back, and be like, yeah, I
other
effed up.
defenses would, I mean, armor in particular,
Maybe I am in the wrong here, or maybe like what I
Um,
think isn't what should
But
be.
yes, I do. It is
Cool.
the case, by the way, that if a thing like
he's trying really hard to
any
just,
snake
like,
spitter that's spitting at you with
defend
some green
things
poison
that like he's
thing,
just
that,
saying things
aside
aren't
from the
true when
poison
they are,
debuff, which I
and
believe
that's
you said
just
kind of
not a good
wasn't that
spot.
dangerous earlier in general, and maybe there are certain cases where it is.
It's definitely dangerous if you're playing an evasion character. Like that poison
but
feels
that-
lethal, and that's once again because the armor didn't.
The hit is
Yeah, yeah.
never chaos damage,
Yeah, yeah.
just to be
Okay.
clear. Which in PoE1 it is. It's like half Chaos, half Fizz.
Yeah. No, I did not know that. I fully thought the Spears from the side, which a lot of people say is the most dangerous attack, I thought that was Chaos. Because it's very heavy
Just
hit.
Fizz.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably just more of a Viper is too hard.
Yeah,
problem.
Zizo. I'm not expecting to get showered in currency, but saying that in the campaign that he's been able to craft plenty of gear, socket plenty of gear, dude, that's just like not true. Like there's, I had like maybe one Artificer orb throughout like my entire campaign, maybe two. Like I had like 0 regals. I did have some exalts, but I had hardly any regals, dude. Seriously, like maybe like 8 to 12 total throughout my 23-hour playthrough.
500 strength, or
I literally bought most of my gear off vendors. Seriously.
A lot of monsters are just pushing you around very easily.
It doesn't currently exist as a concept of mitigating it, because it was meant to be more of a physical thing of. Well, there's two things. There's like monsters pushing you because you literally cannot occupy the same space as them.
You think so, Hano? I don't know his past.
So here, are we talking right now?
I
about
just don't
monster
know.
Charge abilities, or are we talking?
I don't know if
like
Jonathan.
like a sword swing.
The number one thing
Is Jonathan like the head honcho,
I think it's found on
and then
Outline
Mark's right
maybe or
below
something.
him,
It's
or are
like
they both
the
equal? Like I don't know
beast
the
that, like,
hierarchy
rolls
honestly.
on you. That still does take you for a ride.
I don't know.
In
Mark
that case,
definitely
it's
I
probably
feel
just
like
a
is the
matter of
voice of
fixing
reason here.
that particular thing. Like, I suspect that the answer to this.
I'm
one
not
is
saying
it's
Jonathan
not
won't have good
tweaking
ideas or
mitigation,
anything like
really.
that,
It's more
but
just, like,
he's definitely out of
fix
touch right now.
monsters that are, like just monsters that are bad and just fix them individually.
There are certain things I wanted to do, like I wanted it to be, and there were technical limitations here that we probably need to reevaluate. But I wanted it to be when you were blocking or parrying and you got hit, you got knocked less back because you technically did deflect them.
Right.
In the parry case in particular, and like
in some cases there's just push direction. Like maybe the ant lions
yeah, and
are
then
not
some
pushing you
well,
side with that thing.
The charges and things taking you a ride has been like honestly the bane of my year.
That's just a
Yeah.
that's more of a just specific setup of specific monsters and stuff like that. Like did we fix what's his name, the lumberjack guy?
In theory, but it seems to regress.
It still happens sometimes.
It seems to just break every week.
I don't think this is a like balance question. I think it's just a technical like we just need to fix some places and
yeah. I just wonder.
There is also some desync we need to fix.
Yeah, sure. There's also that
annoying.
Yeah. Is pushing something you would consider temporarily removing until you have fixed the issue?
Not at all. No, it will make the game feel like dog shit if we do that. Like there's just lots of things that you need to have. You need to have some pushing in order to make work. Like
Okay.
I think it's more just specific monsters.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm not 100% sure I agree with that, but we'll move on.
That's because you haven't seen it without it. Like yeah.
That's fair. That's true.
If
Like,
we
there's a
turn
lot
off
of
all
things-
sources of pushing, it would just be it would be a disaster.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't understand, Zazarian.
Just might not get another interview after this.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
And I wanted to bring up the
he
point
could just
that
say
a
it
lot of
in a
players
much
hate
nicer
taking a
way.
large amount of
Like,
their gold on gambling.
gosh, dude,
because we are-
John
A lot
sucks.
of people are falling behind or feeling behind on gear.
He could
I
definitely
wonder if
reword
you
that
would
to be
consider
much
further
more
lowering
respectful.
costs,
He's literally
to then
he
like
literally
the
just
open
scoffed
conversation
at
on
Zazarian, dude.
ascendancy
Like,
respec
bro,
during early
get over
access,
yourself, dude.
especially
Get
since
over
you've been
yourself.
talking
Literally
about,
main character right
that
now.
you are going to be buffing
That's
things.
crazy.
So let's say somebody's like, oh wow, Flame Blast looks really cool. I would love to be able to try that, but maybe redoing the entire campaign again.
Yeah,
which
no.
could be over
Yeah,
20
Jonathan's
hours for a lot of
definitely
people,
like
feels very prohibitive.
I perceive it as very frustrated. He's like a kid. Like he's looking to fight.
Maybe not.
In how he talks about this
Very
stuff.
fucking cheap right now is the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, Philip. Seriously. He's being very pretentious. He's like,
personally, I've run
he's
into that.
snapping out, dude, like a kid. He's definitely feeling attacked and like he needs to defend himself. He really does.
Don't think twice about it.
It's just not a good look.
Like it's not been a concern.
It's just not a good
really.
look.
I guess it depends how much you gamble or not.
It probably
Well,
does.
at that point, yeah, but even like I'm saying, even if you're just like early, so I don't think it takes that long to actually do a pretty substantial
I
reset.
have to admit that I haven't been gambling in my playthroughs really. Like, I was like probably about 6 months ago. I was doing that all the time, and I just haven't really been doing it recently.
When we did the like gold model and respec
Not
costs,
gambling, you're-
we had assumptions.
Not
like,
gambling.
Here's how much
Bad
we've always
mechanic.
spent on vendors. And here's how much. And there's
Yeah.
probably look. Those assumptions assume a perfect world of that person exactly doing that thing, and so yes, if anyone was to stray from that assumption, then no, I'm not going to be able to afford one thing over the other.
What I'm actually hearing right now, by the way, from this and an earlier conversation we had, is that I need to not be I need to do some disenchantless runs, because apparently I'm not testing something that players are actually doing.
Dude,
Like, my runs are
everyone's
entirely
disenchanting.
I disenchant every rare on my runs, generally. And,
Dude,
so
everyone's
if that's a
disenchanting.
different
That's
behavior,
you
I
have
need
to
test
disenchant.
that and see what the
Hello?
experience is
Oh
like.
my gosh.
Because like the whole like there's not enough currency.
How do you
and
have
stuff
enough
like that,
regals
stuff
if you're
that.
like, or I mean,
So
sorry,
if
like
you're
how,
telling me that
like
you're,
everyone is
selling
disenchanting
the
all their
and
rares that
buying
aren't
gambling
useful.
all the
What else
time,
would you do with
and then
them?
you're also
Sure,
taking
maybe
out
sell
gold
some
and
early game for
like,
gold,
well,
but
this is just like a materially different playstyle that I'm not currently testing myself.
Right.
So like I think that that's what I need to do to see what's going on with that.
And
oh
with the last point
gosh,
I made,
dude.
would you, especially with the fact
You know
that
what?
there
At
are
least
going to
he,
be
at
a lot
least
of funding
he
during this,
said maybe he should
would
try
you-
something
I don't
else,
think that
dude.
anything changes between early
Little
access and not
W's.
early access regard, by the way. Like, I think that if the argument is that it should, like, I think the argument
Little
is the same
W's.
regardless of whether it's early access. Like, I don't think the early access is a part of this decision regardless. It's just, what is the price supposed to be? We should
Dude,
figure out
Reddit's
the
gonna be a
Well, sure,
mess,
but I'm
dude.
talking about ascendancy
John,
was what I
John's
wanted to-
responses
Otherwise,
are
it
just
depends a little
awful,
bit on the
dude.
severity of the change.
Mark's coming out as a god and getting a promotion.
But like,
Legit, like, gosh, dude.
Like, it depends how. It depends.
I feel
partly
bad
also
for
just
John,
how much
dude.
we change.
Like,
Without knowing
I do, man. He
you know,
just,
how big those changes are, because
it just feels like he just wants
get
to
in there and
control
actually do them
stuff.
first and then
It's not,
make
it's
that
not a good
decision,
look.
really.
It's just not, dude. It's just not a good look.
Like, there are certainly options there.
I don't know. I'm curious to
It is
see
important to me to make sure
so-
that
here's
I
someone's
understand
perspective
exactly where I sit
where they
on
think
the
John is
ascendancy
right.
class respect
Because, like,
thing,
maybe there's things I'm
because the
not
moment
seeing.
that's
Because at
turned
this
on,
point,
it ain't
John's like a
going
joke
back.
to me.
Um,
So I'm kind of like
that is blocked by
checked
me,
out of his
and I will
opinions, to be
take
honest. His takes
whatever
just
is
don't make any
necessary
sense.
On that one, I understand it.
So, like,
Well,
maybe I'm
more-
misinterpreting things
Can I
at this
ask you a
point.
I will
question
have a
about it
solu-
then?
Sure.
Do you feel like it is absolutely necessary
Kinda
to
need a
have those
banana. I'm
both
freaking
be
hungry.
permanent choices? Because you already do have the character class itself be a permanent choice, right?
Oh no, and I'm
Can we
like,
read
I
Reddit
do
after this?
understand- Do be clear, I am on
Possibly.
the fence about this.
It might take a
like,
little bit for it to actually
I
get
can't
to...
say that, like, I'm like, oh, I can't believe PoE1 has ascendancy class respeccing. Like, I'm all for that as well. It's just I'm also for the more permanent decision. I'm just like, I need to find the variable that makes me be able to, or the articulation to be able to go one way or the other. And it's very easy to just fold on that, like, very easy. It'd be very easy to just be like, we're going to change it right now. But it's not, when you have the things that you can't come back from, you definitely want to be certain to some degree. There are some other staff that share the same sentiment as me, and I might just go and have a bigger discussion and actually figure that out. And like, it is true, it's not really fair to make people have to wait for that decision on my behalf. I kind of was like, look, by release, post early access, you will have that decision one way or the other, and that will be the way it is. But yeah, fair enough. If the argument is like, if it's going to come up every single time, which is fair, people care about it, then I probably need to press the decision sooner than later. So I'll just get that answer sooner and not have people wait so long. Hopefully, for everyone's sake, it's the answer you want. But if it isn't, well, you might just have to deal with it.
That's fair. That's fair. I think I was curious.
That's
about,
fair.
like, so
If he
you
says
went
at
with
least
the
you'll have to
decision
deal with it,
keep
then at least you know where he
that,
stands, right?
Energy shield does not get.
At least he's not saying like you don't know better.
But it's sort of like
He's just saying, hey guys, if that's the way we put it, it just might be how it is. Fair. Okay, whatever. It sucks, but like at least
I don't think that we've
he's just being honest with me, dude.
actually come to a decision on this really.
Straight up.
Like there wasn't like I think after the last time this was discussed,
I think they
we've
just
actually
wanted
been
to
back
have
and talked
weight
about
then
it,
too.
so I wouldn't say we've decided that. It's more just that it just went in like that because we
Path of
didn't-
Exile is not
didn't
known for
talk
quality of
about it,
life
so
stuff.
I
The
don't
fact that we
know
can
that
respec
we
with
have a
just
real
gold
answer as to what we want
is
to do with
massive,
that.
dude. We played literally for like 10 years without that.
Probably will revisit that.
If you messed up, you'd have to use currency or just re-roll a whole character. And sometimes it was faster just to re-roll a whole
I
character.
made the decision a while back. Like, I don't see why it can't.
I did want to bring up, if you do make it like that on players too, remember to put bleed immune on CI.
We will definitely change CI, but it is a thing that the players are now going to have to deal with who aren't CI, just as a light, a note as a thing that will happen.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that bleed is exactly breaking the bank right now, is it? Or It was for a while. There was a period there where like bleed was just brutal. Like what changed?
What's
back
up,
then?
Isabel? How are you?
Like, I'm talking pre-release.
Feels good.
Could you remember when the
Yeah.
fucking like prowlers and G14 bled
Well,
you?
we
and, like,
had
it was
we
horrible?
we had bleed on a lot more,
Yeah.
and then there was some crazy damage multipliers on it. Some that I can't remember why they were, but I mean again pre-release numbers things.
Cool.
Which was also unfun, by the way.
Oh yeah, they really removed it. I'm just saying, like, I don't remember what happened.
Yeah. I have a question about Ignite Prolif, specifically with the monsters needing to stand still for, or like needing to be near the source for 2 seconds. To be
I'm
able
gonna
to
grab
proliferate.
a banana.
Probably needs to be
on the
buffed.
it's on the today list.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually on my yesterday list, and I didn't.
The
quite get
today
to it, so-
list.
Cool.
It sucks.
I know we've had a lot of heavy questions, but I have a bit of a lighter question for myself. Like, how are you feeling about the current like Blessed Orb and Divine Orb being bundled together?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, is there anything?
I would say I don't have a feeling one way or the other. Really, it's just how do you feel about it?
I definitely like. I don't know if this is just a PoE1 player thing, but I definitely feel like it's missing. Because like I would never divine an item, like because the divine it's a big investment, right? Like we use it a lot on like uniques or like when a main weapon is like in need of it. But
Like, are you saying that you believe that this is reducing the desire to actually use divines?
It's just that I would never use it for just an implicit on an item, so it just makes an item feel like pretty much permanently worse than what it should be, I guess, is like my personal anecdotal feeling as a player.
I mean, is that partly also just because the ranges and or power of an implicit is just too weak as well?
Yeah, potentially.
I mean, they're not exactly impactful in most regards. Some are good, some are very good.
I can't say this is something we've really thought about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just
It's
goes
just
on
a
the
thing
list
that
of
kind of
stuff to think.
happened, and then like, honestly, it just went under the radar the whole time. So
Yeah.
if there are more opinions on that, I'd be like really happy to hear them.
Yeah. It was just something I was curious about, so far to bring it up. The next thing is about movement speed. In PoE1, we have a lot more things like Whirling Blades, Frostblink, etc. And in PoE1, I feel like it's a bit more viable to completely forego movement speed on boots and go for like triple energy shield. But obviously, movement abilities aren't in the same spot in PoE2. Is there ever a world where you either like think about like removing the hidden movement reductions on shield and armor, give like a implicit movement speed to boots or something like that, so they scale a little bit with like the higher bases?
Well, I mean, are you just saying here just make movement speed on the player faster?
So
Yeah.
for example,
Yeah.
like, an idea
Yeah,
that I
that's a
saw
great idea,
was,
John.
if
Yeah.
you- let's say that some bases have
Oh.
5, 10, and 15 movement speed, so like that the higher bases are slightly better, and maybe even like scale.
That's a
less,
great
right, so
idea,
that
John.
Some of your movement speed is guaranteed, or make it like a lot easier to roll movement speed, like increase the weight.
That'd be nice
that
too.
it can roll.
That'd be
I don't
nice too,
necessarily
honestly.
think it's bad to have a base type that where you've got a mod that, you know, that's somewhat mandatory. Like that's okay. But it sounds like because
Yeah, like increasing the weight of move speed on
as
some
a
bases
player, I
wouldn't be
just
bad.
like if honestly, because I mean the thing is in PoE1 are there really people
Wouldn't be
going
bad.
around? Like surely it isn't common that people don't have movement speed on their boots
Zizo.
in PoE1.
Sorry.
I mean, I guess
I've
it's
done it on
technically
quite a lot.
viable if you just, you reckon?
Yeah, quite a lot
Like-
of like triple energy shield boots and stuff.
Right.
Especially different in PoE1 because we have
It's
the
it's specialized
influence
knowledge,
things
Right,
and
right.
stuff
Again,
like
you,
that.
seasoned players, not like
Right.
Yeah,
just
not new
like-
players.
Even
sure.
I've thought about taking off movement
But
speed
it
of my
is an
boots
option,
for more
and it
option,
isn't really
more
mandatory.
HP and
Movement speed
stuff.
is a lot more mandatory.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. To me, like, I mean, sure, I do not disagree with the fact that there can be scenarios in PoE1 where that's not the case, but I would still say it's basically mandatory there for them. Like, for most of your PoE playing career, I would say that you're
Well-
going to be wanting to get movement speed on.
Yeah,
your
I mean,
boot.
I feel like that's
I would
fair.
even argue like the
On average,
single
yeah, you
best
want
boot
movement
in
speed.
PoE1, which is the Ralakesh Impatience, they don't have movement speed on them, and like they're still considered like
Right.
pretty much the best boot.
But I mean,
I think
isn't
I
it
agree with John
fundamentally then
in this
just
regard.
Back to like back to the
Most
question
people
of
will have movement speed on their
you
boots
wanna
for
move
sure.
faster?
Yeah, for sure. It is.
Sure. So I mean, I guess that would be the so
At the
really
end
it
of
just
the day,
comes back
what
to
people
that.
want. Move
Right.
faster implicitly and less dependency on the mod, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, whether or not it's implicit
Which
or
is a
based on the mod or anything, it's just I want to move faster, right? Like it feels like that's really the core.
Which
of
comes back to the
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
need to have those discussions and
Right.
Yeah.
It's similar.
A difference in PoE2 is that the implicits of uniques, especially things like life sprig, will scale into the endgame. Where, like, if I find a life sprig on my level 80 character now, it's never going to be usable early game. But the explicits on life sprig, and a lot of other caster uniques and
Maybe
things like that,
similar
they don't
beard,
scale either.
Isabel.
So, have you explored the idea of the actual explicit scaling?
I think Stu had a
or
beard
the
like that,
implicit
right?
Not scaling, so that you can find these like twink leveling uniques. Like, what are your thoughts around the uniques there?
I don't think we would want uniques to have the explicit scale like that. That's kind of not what uniques are about. So I just not that is not a particular solution. That
The
I would
bigger
want.
question's about whether or not the the skill should or shouldn't level up with the item.
Well,
I mean, it currently does, right?
It does.
It does. But something that could be interesting is that if you find a life sprig on a level 80 character, it can scale up to that level, so it would scale with your character. That would make it feel really good as a leveling item, for example. That you can use it at level 1, you hit level 3.
I really don't like that kind of thing. The whole like item that just scales with your character. Like, I don't think that we want to move in a direction where you'll have less times when you put items on your character as you level up. Like, that doesn't feel like the right direction to me.
But there's also more whether, and there's a second part to that, which is whether or not life sprig should even have high level requirements ever. Which is a more
That's
a thing that's come up a bit.
That's
more,
a separate question. That yeah, that's come up. I'm kind of not quite sure about that one at the moment.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be more discussion.
I mean, so one thing that was proposed and as a potential solution to this is that just the like, I feel like maybe you didn't like this. Well, I can't remember who didn't like this. Someone didn't like this. Because I proposed that we make it so that the implicit skill.
Ah, it's his
on
idea
uniques,
that was proposed.
Has like a cap level, but then that does level up as you go through the game. Like not so it does not that sorry, it's not that it levels up. It's that like it is capped to the level of where you are.
Yeah.
So that way, even if you get a level
Excuse me, sorry.
you can still equip it at low levels, and then and then that will go with you effectively. And somehow I see that as different from like your items
Yeah,
changing as you
I
level
know.
up. That to me, that's not the
That's
same
kinda what
thing,
it feels
quite
like.
the same thing. So like that would potentially be an option. I don't
His
remember
vision,
why
man.
There was some reason why we didn't do that, but like
His
it might
vision.
still be on the cards.
That's fair.
Wait, so you're saying what? You're saying if you find it at level 80.
I'm saying if you find it at level
let's say
80, 16 skill, but you can still equip it. It doesn't change the level requirement, but then the skill gets down leveled to the maximum that it can be for the.
Oh sure,
Yeah,
I
and
thought
then-
that's what he's proposed just a second ago. But
No, he's talking about the explicit scaling.
No, there's a
No,
second
no.
thing there.
The second one was that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Maybe I misunderstood then. Okay, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
In that case, then sure. Like,
I mean,
You
I
don't
would
understand,
personally prefer to just
Zazarian.
Be like, you can drop a low-level life sprig, and that's you use a low-level.
yeah, but I don't love that either, honestly.
Oh,
But I don't
my.
hate
you know.
that.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
like,
hate
there's
it.
a part of me that also kind of liked the idea that there were some uniques that were more valuable to find at lower
He's
levels,
all
so I
over the
thought it was
place,
kind of
dude.
interesting.
John's
But
all
I
over
don't
the
know
place.
whether
What is
players
chat
actually
saying?
like that or not,
Oh,
so
it's a
that's
mess,
kind of
dude. It's a mess over there.
fair.
But
I don't hate that.
Can't even look at the chat.
Yeah, I was just curious because we do find them a lot. Another question is about the minion resurrect timer. It keeps resetting like the entire
Dude, John.
timer
Oh,
every
gosh,
time
dude,
a
John.
monster dies.
John.
And that can feel very
Yeah,
frustrating,
it
so
is
I
gutter.
wonder-
I mean, they're gonna be
yeah,
hating
just
on John
how
hard
do you
for
feel
sure.
about that? That the entire timer resets.
well,
He-
if
he's
you
ju-
don't
ugh,
have
whatever.
that, it feels a lot more frustrating. Let me tell you. Like that was how it was until we changed it, and like it was so bad. Because what happens is that like the monsters, that your minions just die one at a time, and then they can never really accomplish anything, and it's just like trust me, that was a buff. That change, like that was a massive improvement. So yeah, like until you experience it the other way, you will understand if you play it the other way. It's
There
really
might
bad.
be an intermediary there. I want to explore some options.
Well, it's
For
also-
example, like instead of resetting the entire timer, it adds to the timer based on like the cost of the minion or something like that. We might be able to
Yeah.
do something like that.
But
it
I don't
doesn't-
know. But that's not going to fix the fundamental issue, which is that minions work best when there's lots of minions. And so the issue that we had was that you just get in a situation where they just trickle in and die one at a time.
No
and
matter what, they have to revive all at the same time.
that has to happen. Yes.
I'm just saying it could be that, like, okay, let's say
Oh, I
everyone's
see what you're
dead but
saying.
one.
Right. So it doesn't. It increases a bit, but not as much.
And
Okay, I
so instead
understand.
of like, all about to
Sure.
revive except for one, oh, he died. And
Yeah,
now
that's
6 seconds again.
that actually is viable, and that
Okay.
maybe is a change we could make.
And like, would you ever be open to adding a keystone that changes the behavior?
Shizzy, it's a mess,
I was
dude.
actually thinking about that.
It's a mess,
earlier
Shizzy.
today, and I mostly
What we've
just,
learned
like, the troll
is
in me was like, we should do
John
this just so
hasn't
the players can see how
experienced
bad it
any
is.
of these issues that people are talking about.
But,
He doesn't agree
But yeah,
with their complaints.
That was probably a
and
negative
everyone else doesn't know what they
I mean,
want.
I think a lot of people would like to see it.
Yeah. No one knows what they want, but John knows
yeah, no, I think
best.
the thing Mark
Mark,
said
on the
is
other
pretty
hand,
reasonable, and,
Yeah.
so
is
he's
very
probably-
reasonable, open to listening.
Convocation.
Will
is
say
that
if
something on
something
the
won't
table? Is like maybe a
happen,
spirit skill
but
or
John is just being very condescending and pretentious. Yeah,
Don't
Shizzy.
love
Yeah,
it.
we're wide
That's fair.
chilling right now.
Don't love it.
Yeah, Shizzy.
something?
Yeah, John. It's not a good look for
I'm
John
kinda
today,
like-
Shizzy.
I could see a world where reservation cooldown, or you have to earn it, or something like that. If they're not,
If it to go in, it would have to be different enough that
John
players
just
probably
knows
wouldn't say
best,
it in
Shizzy.
competition
That's
anymore.
what
Like I suspect that's kind of the reality.
we're
like,
experiencing.
Yeah, like as Mark said, you'd have to add some kind of conditions, or you'd have to do something, and it's like at that
Can
point,
you,
it's not even
Pato?
doing the thing the players want it for anyway. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like
that being said, it might
John
still
is
just be
chill.
better, and there might
Jonathan
be some room for it, but
is
I
a
don't-
prick.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I
I
don't
know,
love it.
I know.
Like I would much rather find a better solution to that issue.
Okay. When it comes to map completion, obviously there's been some changes this patch, but one thing that easily feels the worst is when there is one monster just like really far away, and the checkpoint system doesn't really cut it there. Would you consider making the completion of a map be like 90% of the rares instead of 100? Because the bad feeling is very often tied to just one monster, the other side of the map, and I have to like do so much backtracking.
Sure. Well, I want to solve this problem. I don't know that that's the answer.
Yeah, Mark is
But
literally
I
in damage
understand
control.
the,
You're right. It's a
like,
good way to
there's
put
really-
it. At least
really
that's how I see it.
Up discussed last night that like
Well,
just having the minimap icons on.
There was a
always
discussion of
prob-
Dude,
but
that
all
would
the time, right? Because you're not going to miss.
fixes the issues. If I just know where the
Main
elites
reason for
are,
that is,
I
like,
still
the
got to go
current
through
way
the
it works
map,
is that
but I know
it's
where to
like
go.
when 200 remaining they appear, and on some
That's a
maps that's like you
great
kill 3 maps
change.
and they appear, and
Great
other
change.
maps it's
I
like
think
you
we
have to
talked
do
about
80%
that
of it before they appear, and
last season
honestly,
when
that's
or
kind
last
of
patch
weird
when we
and
played
bad
too. Like,
anyway.
just show me where they're at.
Kind of want to.
It doesn't take away. I'm still gonna get
the main
there.
thing we're worried about
Yeah.
with that change is the whole you just play on the minimap, like you're not even
Yeah.
looking into the game.
But
I'll
so
be
I
looking at the
think that
game. There's a lot of
feels-
things on the
very in
ground.
favor of that.
Well,
I love
okay,
that
so,
change.
like,
The
do we
minimap.
just turn off?
Yeah,
like,
literally just showing from the start. Like I love that initially for sure. At least for me.
okay. Sorry, I thought you
Right.
said you loved the idea of not looking at the game and only playing off the minimap.
One
I
of the
kinda do that
tests,
anyway.
Yeah, you do.
one of the- one
You
of the-
do.
like, when we
You.
were
It's
trying
like a
to find that
50-50.
Crash.
Yeah.
When you're
we,
fighting, you look at
one of our
your
developers,
character,
like,
and when you're
tried
not,
playing
you're looking
with
at your
the
mini
graphics
map.
turned off,
Like
they just had the
that's
minimap, and they played literally to the end of Act 2 with just no graphics, and they're like, and the funny thing was like, what the hell? How did you even manage to get through 2 acts like that? And he's like, oh, Huntress OP. I was like, okay, like this is so it is actually possible to play entirely.
Yeah,
with the
Ben
minimap
too.
with no graphics at all, apparently.
in PoE 1, you learn how to play through the mini
No,
map.
I would love that.
Yeah, I want.
It's like
I wanna change
ASC
that,
2
and, like,
graphics or whatever.
The thing with the 90% thing you're suggesting, by the way, there is like.
Because you're
let's say the
flying.
map only has 3 rares.
Once you're,
does
like,
it go
giga
2 out of
geared.
3?
Sure.
Does it like round down? Does it round up? Is it if there's only 2 rares? Is it literally just one?
Probably just enable seeing the res on the minimap.
I agree.
It's probably
I
better
like that.
just to do
I
that.
agree.
That's a great change, man. It would make mapping feel so much
Another
better.
Quick question about
Please.
Delirium. It seems very
Please.
fast. Obviously, we're
Put
about
your
4
vision
now.
aside, man.
Any thoughts on Delirium speed?
I very specifically made a number of builds and tested them just before this 020 release, and I was actually surprised how well I was doing. And I was like, okay, like I thought this was a big problem, and I was like, I'll just actually go and actually test it myself. So it could be like, okay, here's I'd like to know a bit more here, I guess.
Yeah,
which is,
lowering
like,
opacity
is
helps
it
a lot
certain
too, Ben,
maps
too.
over others?
And showing only outlines
Yeah,
makes it
is it
a lot
100%.
cleaner.
Like, because it
Okay,
still
so there's a-
expands like
there's
a
a good-
donut, right?
Yeah, which we do, and we do kind of have to balance it around probably the bottom. Maybe it's, yeah, sure. there's probably a point where it's balanced around an assumption of like being more acceptable maps instead of the worst ones, and so I just need to shift that assumption and then change it. But yeah, I did specifically personally test this on a number of characters pre 020, and I was actually I expected it to be way worse than it was. That being said, I wasn't using like a massive range of maps for testing that. I was like, you know, probably 5 or 6 different things on many different characters. So yeah, sure, I will look at that as well. I'll add it to the today
That's fair,
list.
Ben, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you, right? At the end of the day, how you want to play it. You don't have to have the minimap on at all.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
You can play just minimap top right. That's fine.
So obviously, PoE, you're not necessarily tied to like the warrior being melee, right? Like right now, I'm playing artillery ballista. Would it be possible to implement some sort of favorite system that I can just tick like artillery ballista with a little heart on it, so then when I go to like level up those gems, I don't have to in the bottom left search artillery ballista and tick the...
I would suggest just having a tab for equipped gems would be the way to do that.
Yeah.
Like you just have a tab that just shows you the equipped gems, you just click on
Perfect,
and you level up that way.
Yeah, so all the classes, then my gems, and then all gems. That's probably what it should be, yeah.
Another question.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Ben, too.
The Smith's Hammer ability. I was watching, I have not used it myself, but I saw Queen69 using it, and it looked pretty painful with like a little like tink, tink, and then going out and hitting twice.
It's a cool looking skill.
So there were meant to be some changes that were made to this that I even specifically spoke about, I think, with maybe Darth and Gazzy or whatever when we had that last one. Yeah. And those changes didn't occur. They have occurred locally. They should be in a imminent patch coming out. Like that's it somehow got missed, I think, or I don't know. I actually don't know what happened there, but that was a sheer mistake, straight up.
All good. So there are multiple skills that can use chargers. A few players have reported that like they might want to use chargers on a specific skill. Would there be a way to like deactivate that a skill uses chargers, but you still want to use that skill, but you don't want it to be empowered?
That'd be cool.
Something that came up. Like,
that'd be cool. So you can have like one that gains frenzies, and then you actually use the frenzies.
I mean, the obvious case is barrage on the Huntress, right?
Yeah.
Like whether or not you want to do that. So I think like I'd have to look into whether or not this is going to be okay, but we could have a support gem that does that like gives some other power boost, but says it can't consume charges or something, and then that way you could use that with barrage if you wanted to disable it for that, or something like that. So I think that'd probably be the way. But I have to think about exactly what that should be. But something along those lines would be the way I'd do work.
I have a little like just interesting question about how do you feel like class identity revolves more around weapons, right? Because like I'm a warrior build, but a lot of people would inherently think like warrior is maces. But yeah, like the class identity is more around the weapons themselves. And I was curious how you feel about that.
Well, we
Huntress with barrage is strong.
Having 12 classes partly because of that, like to make that the case. Like we want that, and this is actually was driven like I mean, so when we were talking about like adding weapon types and so on, there was this thing where we're like, okay, if you're, you know what it actually was. It's okay. So we had the spear base type, and we're like, okay, because this is like way back, like a long time ago, we're like, okay, what is gonna make a person who selects a ranger ever switch to spears and do that? That's just incredibly unlikely to actually happen. It's like ultimately the purpose of the classes at the start are kind of to give you a stereotype to like to go to. Now you don't have to follow that, obviously, like everything's open, but giving players like a thing where they're like, okay, like I know what I'm gonna do, like I'm gonna do this thing. It's like it's kind of important for new players to have that happen. So I think it is overall very positive and kind of like why we did that in the first place. And I mean, like an evidence of that in PoE 1 is like, yeah, players who select ranger, like even though there's all this whole thing about being able to become a melee ranger, like it takes a long time before someone would even experiment with that if they're a new player. Like they just wouldn't even cross their mind to like change weapon type like that once they've already started. So effectively just due to that, we needed to have some way to make it so that, you know, from the very beginning you kind of know, like you've got some idea in your head about what kind of thing you want to play.
That's fair.
Yeah. The next question is about corrupted items, and you added, in my opinion, a very fun new unique strongbox. Actually, whoever made the Venter strongbox, chef's kiss, love that thing. Please put it in PoE1 as well. Coolest thing ever. But I find corrupted items a little frustrating too, due to quality and sockets. I don't know if the answer is just like that they always have quality and sockets, but obviously it's items that we can't recombinate anyway. And I just want to hear your thoughts on a balance pass from that. It's very frustrating to get a really cool unique that is, or rare that is effectively useless.
Yeah, something needs to change there. Like it ain't. It is.
We
it
just
isn't right.
we actually removed some corrupted drops before 020 went out, and then because we were like, wait, hold on, getting corrupted items just sucks.
Yeah.
Like this isn't a good thing you want. So like corrupting an item of your choice is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just straight up were like, we need to just start removing the corrupted drops and find a different way or a different item mechanic or do something with them.
Yeah. Cool.
This 100% just like, what is this random white corrupted item on the ground? Like that is never going to be of use to anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We just need to fix that for sure.
Cool. Is there a possibility of the runes being added to the currency stash tab?
I believe we would. So what was
We're adding a socketables affinity.
Yeah.
We're adding a bunch of affinities. I think it's like socketables, fragments, which will include tablets.
Yeah.
And obviously fragments. Breach and or catalysts.
Cool.
Expedition and thus also logbooks and the currency. You know, we're adding a whole bunch of them. I think there's 5, 6, 7 maybe different affinities that we're meant to be adding within like, you know, I would expect to see that within a week probably is my like guess. We're not going to add that. This is like currently it has the whole you have to have the stash tab in order to have the affinity, and we're like having to divorce that a little bit so that we can just have the affinities with because the tabs take longer to make. And so that we're doing that work currently, and I would expect to have all of that. So you can use your premium quads, whatever, you know, to stash all of those.
Okay. Cool.
Actually, almost through with all of my questions here. So this isn't something, sadly, that I've been able to interact too much with, but I wanted to talk a little bit about recombinators anyway, and just see if you guys have looked into it, looked into the data a little bit. Obviously, I've seen a clip of, for example, Karn having like this 0.91 chance to recombinate. Yeah, just what do you guys think of recombinator use this early, basically?
I don't think we've even had enough real
experience. Kind of waiting for more info and data there for sure.
Yeah.
I did worry that there'd be that people would start seeing those very low values because they're using extremely rare item modifiers or numbers of mods and getting like, oh my god, it says less than 1%
What's up, Mello?
or less than 2. This
How are you, dude?
System sucks.
There was a real like it's interesting because like with recombinators, I feel like every time we've ever even looked at them, they've always got this thing of like this tension between like they're so OP and yet also they look so underpowered. Like when you like, they've got this like horrible tension like that. However, what I do think that this system is compared to the previous one is so much better is that if you're using them for the like low number of mod cases, then like you can get relatively good weights. But we do have the ability to do more specific balance here if we want to. So like we'll just adjust it. Like honestly, I have to admit, like I haven't even recombinated anything on live myself yet. So like you know, like it's just not it's not I can't really say anything about.
Yeah, that's fair. It's something I.
It's so
I
early.
just don't know how it feels enough, you know.
There were 2 major item systems that I was like expecting to get a bunch of feedback on, and then would calibrate. One was recombinating, and the other, which I am very thoroughly looking for, and maybe you have some opinions on it, is how the new map drop progression works.
Recombinating is taking.
One thing I changed last night, which is to make it a bit easier to get guaranteed maps from the fixed last rare and last final boss. But the other thing is there is currently a bug which I saw, which is sometimes the boss's drop isn't +1 level, which I don't know how that happens, but I saw that bug. But assuming those are fixed, I am very curious to know and kind of just get people's feeling on that. I've seen some people get through.
No, Mello, they're working night and day, to make it happen though.
Have proven that they can, and that's fine, and they
working hard
of the RNG as much. But I'm looking for a lot of feedback on that, and I'm hoping to start getting a bit more of that as people get into endgame.
I have anecdotally heard people telling me that they're happier with how endgame is now than how it was in Zero.
Yes, it is much better.
I have also heard that, but again, very anecdotally. So
especially when it comes to sustain, I'm the wrong person to ask because I was shocked at one of the previous podcasts when people were saying they were struggling with sustain. So I thought it was funny when you basically said skill issue.
That was also the case for us, which is why we changed it.
So that's why we just were like, let's fully redo this.
So I'm the wrong person to ask for about sustain.
Hi, Meg.
Obviously,
How are
there's no
you?
issues for me with sustain now. I've talked to my community a little about this, and it was pretty split with the with the new like how you unlock Atlas points, a lot of people didn't like it. I personally like it a lot more. I had a strong dislike for the do 10 tier 1 maps, do 10 tier 2 maps. So I love the new way, but a lot of people in my community didn't. So you're definitely gonna have to get more feedback there. I'm just not 100% sure. I think the issue that people in my chat were saying was that they were struggling to see the corruption. So maybe even like some sort of indicator of like not an arrow, but like more.
When you say C, do you mean in like out of the fog of war or in the fog of war?
Both, I guess. Like just.
Nah,
like,
there's
you
no
know, the
way
we have the
out of the
beams
fog of war. It
towards
has to be in the fog of
pillars
war.
right now. I guess people
That's why I'm asking. Like, are you saying just like physically you don't see them when they're revealed, or
just before the patch went out, we were like,
Doing all right, Meg.
we
Doing all
actually
right.
did go,
Just
do we want these to be visible
watching
in fog
this
of war
interview.
or not?
Yeah.
And they were, by the way. And then we were like, I think maybe actually we don't, because you're going to spend too much of your playtime just looking in fog of war, and I want you to be looking in the revealed section more. And so that's why I did change it, so that some things are in fog of war, but it's like not that many. So
Oh, right.
short distance maybe? Or
yeah, so
something like that,
but
just to slightly
we don't
increase it
currently
with
have
me.
a distance in fog of war. You can see it's just either it is or it isn't, and so maybe we can mess with that and have it be like, you can see
Makes
like
sense.
you know, some depth in or something like that, just to make it a bit better. But
but
I mean,
at
it's
least
good
for
feedback.
myself,
It's
I
good
like
to
it.
know.
Yeah.
I'll show
It's
you
about
Ben
the
too.
Atlas
Also,
points, if you do get any more, and of course if you happen to get a collective from your community in particular as well, and of course people are going to post it. You have my Discord as well. Just tell me, because I'm very curious about the map drops and how people feel about now that it's like way more deterministic for both sustaining and going up the tiers.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's much
now,
less
obviously
tedious.
Not a huge amount of people collectively as in the end game, but like it's enough to start getting stuff. So
yeah.
I'd really like to make sure we got that right. So if any of that
Oh, that's
comes up,
classified, Taylor.
just give me a yell.
I have one last question about PoE 2, and then I have a few quick fire questions about PoE 1, and then we're done. How do you feel about the removal of clear speed, things like Herald of Ice, but then sort of adding it back in with effectively a few players are telling me the Lightning Strike and Aroa effectively just swaps it from Herald of Ice to the Roa and the Lightning Strike?
Well,
I don't know whether or not the balance of those is correct, quite frankly.
It's not quite like there's probably misbalance here, 100%, but it's not quite the same as what the Heralds were doing. But it is still a balance anomaly for sure. Like I certainly have people playing. I know people. Who
Whoa,
are playing Lightning
Sandwich,
Archers right now,
relax,
like,
dude.
Why am I suffering?
What the
like this? I'm
hell?
gonna swap to Lightning Spear.
Ban him?
Which I
I
assume
don't know.
is what you
Sandwich
meant.
comes in here for advice about his hot dates.
Yeah. So look, it's pretty clear. It is their #1 played build right now is Lightning Spear Amazon, and that for good reason, right? Like, it wasn't the intention to be like we removed this thing and added this thing. That isn't intentional. That it ends up playing that strongly and that powerfully, and it's like a clear like, I mean, just use it and the whole screen implodes, right?
But the trouble we have now is, like, you know, this is what people are doing now.
Yeah.
Can we nerf that? Like, you know.
No, that's fair.
The answer is usually that we can't very easily.
That's fair.
So, you know.
Yep. So, a few PoE 1 questions, and then nothing. Do we have a rough estimate at all for 326?
I mean, are we telling people? Have we said anything about
that?
that?
I think we were like, I think last we said was A and around that territory, or at least towards the latter half
wait, you
of
cut
May.
out. You cut out.
No, sorry, I said nothing.
No!
I was just pretending. No, towards the end of May was what we last said, and the intention is still that is currently on track. Obviously, all these things are kind of like, you know,
hot date advice
within a 2-week kind of band, because you know things happen.
I'm an expert,
that being
dude.
Said,
First
if you're
try.
Not hearing about things by the end of May, or at least, then I'd be very surprised. You should be for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He does.
Any
He
chance
does.
of WST and PoE 1?
I agree, Isabel.
It's not
Very
really a question of
suave
thinking
looking.
about it. It's a question of like, I mean, I would put it in tomorrow if we could.
Yeah.
The problem is that the character rigs are just not set up for it. And so I will just mention like kind of like the long-term plan here. So once every microtransaction from PoE 1 works in PoE 2, at that point it will mean that we could then port the character rigs from PoE 2 back to PoE 1.
Exactly. It worked out, Meg. Do you like sunlight?
Them,
Me
and
too.
that would then mean that we would have access
worked.
to the animation library.
How you doing, Infinity Gold?
We have in PoE 2 in PoE 1, which would then mean that we could put WASD in, basically.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that like in the but this will take a while, right? But like in the long term, this can happen. But like it would effectively we always sort of imagined that we would take the PoE 2 character rigs and port them back to PoE 1 once the microtransaction had all been ported over.
Yeah.
But it requires 100%. Because obviously, we can't turn a microtransaction off in PoE 1 you already bought. So like therefore, we have to wait until we've got full compatibility before we can do that.
Another thing is like incentivized to make change.
What the hell,
And
Taylor?
the reason for that is
oh hell yeah, Taylor! Bring your diamond pickaxe.
Use the PoE 1 character models every time.
Yeah.
So the moment that we can finally get rid of those PoE 1 character models, like character rigs, that means that it just reduces our workload a crap ton. So and then at that point we could add WS.
We've got a pretty large rigging department right now, and they are spending probably the majority of their life all rigging microtransactions to PoE 2 characters right now.
Wow, it's happening.
So I mean, eventually it will get to the point where that is the case.
Cool. I have the same question, but with pausing. So for PoE 1.
That one, I think that they even tried to do that.
It was almost there.
It was almost there, and then there was like a couple of things. So, like, it is our intention to get that in.
Awesome. Another thing that I really love in PoE 2, the highlight effect. Like when I right-click a transmute and it shows like what items this works on. It's really nice quality of life.
Right. Well, I mean, there shouldn't be any reason we can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Should be fine.
Hopefully you're doing well, Infinity.
Why that would be a problem? Yeah, should be fine. Yeah,
I
we
mean,
can
stuff
probably
like
do
that. 100%.
Yeah,
It's either we're just not going to. Just won't.
Yeah.
You know, it won't just happen.
Cool.
Sure.
Final question is: Vol orbs in PoE 2 can change the magnitude of unique items. Is that something we could ever see in PoE 1?
Well, the amount of work that it would take. So here's the thing, right? Like that for every unique, we have manual work to do to work out what to do there.
Yeah.
And obviously in PoE 2, given that there weren't all the uniques made already, like we were able to do that. So like I'm not going to say never in PoE 1, but just the amount of work it would take to like look at the balance of every single unique and do that work would be quite large.
Most would take only like 2 seconds and would just be fine.
Sure, but there's like implications for a lot of like there's just a lot of uniques in PoE 1, right? Like a lot.
Awesome. That was all the questions I had. Thank you so much for taking time to do
Thanks,
this.
guys.
This was super welcome by me and the community. We really
Kai.
I know it was a bit combative today, but I promise it's from love for
I don't
the
know.
game.
Actually,
and,
so
I don't know, man.
At the beginning, I obviously got out of bed on the wrong side of the bed this morning because I was feeling a little bit anxious, probably more than I should have done, and I apologize for that because that was probably not great. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I just kind of as I said, was just feeling a bit ugh.
It's okay, Jonathan.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for saying sorry.
You know, compared to most, I think we came out of this one with like actually like.
Yeah, Kai, I don't know
we're
what
just
to
gonna
expect,
go make,
dude.
like immediately, which is awesome. And some we knew about, some we didn't, and some and a whole bunch of discussion.
Mark,
so, like, I actually. The value
Mark
coming out of this, I
is
feel
the
very, very
savior,
good about, honestly.
and
hoping we
oh
can
yeah,
get
hex
all
on
those-
you.
all those
You'll
changes
first receive a picture of it. Don't forget.
It'll help, but like, it is
I can tell you,
it is
Meg.
good because I mean, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's just creating that.
I bet he
collaborative
is having a bad
environment
day
between
reading all
developer
the
and player base
negative
that,
feedback.
and
He just
using
handled it
users as
so
the
poorly.
intermediary, and I'm sure
But
the
this
intermediary
Jonathan, the
itself
last
is part
20
of it,
minutes
but
has seemed great.
It's very important that we keep doing this.
The way he's responded is fine.
It will
He's not
create
being a total
greatness.
dickhead.
Yeah, no,
like the last
I
20, 30
appreciate
minutes
you
of
guys being
Jonathan
here.
has been
Actually,
great.
Like as a rule for my
Earlier
podcast, I
Jonathan,
actually took something Jonathan
pretentious
said to heart
child.
really
for
hard
sure.
that I really liked. And you
And
said
we could all
that
be like that.
You
Don't
really
get me wrong.
like when the
But-
interviewer like when it's their questions and not just on behalf of others because they're able to do better follow-ups.
I respect
and
that he
stuff.
said
I've,
sorry.
Yeah.
You know.
Tried hard to focus on that as well. That it's things that I am able to do follow-ups on. So, but yeah, thank you
Awesome.
guys so much for your time.
Bad Pret. Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you, and thank everyone for watching.
Jonathan,
playing.
dude, he handled it really poorly for
Bye.
like 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever it is.
Whew.
I gotta pee. Though.
Try to die less than I do. Okay. I don't know how I did because I have not had chat open, so I don't know if you guys hate me now But I can promise you that I did my best. That was my best, at least. I thought you were a GDD shill, and I was wrong. Thank you. Oh, thank you. That means a lot. I don't know if you're joking or not, but I really appreciate that. Because I saw like a lot of questions at the start and on Reddit where people were like, this entire thing is like pre-prepared and Ziz is just gonna ask the questions he's allowed to. And I was like, these are all my questions, man. I made these. So I promise you I did my very, very best. Jesus, thank you so much for all the subs. I really appreciate it. I actually collect money. Oh, I got some more. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys think I did a good job. I'm not saying it was the best anyone could ever do, but that was my best. That was my best. That was my very best. It is hard to do like follow-ups and stuff in the moment, but I tried really hard. You know, not reading chat during a podcast is so nice. I was able to like really focus on the questions and try to do follow-ups. But at least hopefully a few of the people that were really negative on Reddit or in general before that, hopefully they're happy with how it went and maybe happy they were wrong if they were wrong. Thank you guys so much for the horse with the 50. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Yeah, essentially for those who might have missed most of it, John had no issues on his end when he played the campaign, currency, all that stuff. All the complaints, he said that he didn't see the issues. He thinks that it's okay where it's at. He wants it to be difficult, like for the most part. Mark was obviously really good at being like political in the sense. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but yeah, Jonathan was shutting everything down and just acting very pretentious. But saying like you just don't understand, like essentially saying you don't understand, you don't know how it would impact everything. That wasn't my issues. I had plenty of loot, plenty of currency to craft. I had no problems. Yeah, you can tell that he was upset with the feedback, and he handled it he was very rude, to be honest. Yeah. But Mark was diplomatic. He like was open-minded, thought of solutions. If he said that if it does change, you might just have to get used to it, right? He just told you straight up. But John was essentially saying that like no one understood, and he had no issues for a while. Towards the end, Jonathan obviously took a step back, whether it's a little bit or whatever. At least he said sorry. Maybe he can get some fresh air and like, you know, actually look at what he was saying. Because Jonathan definitely was being very unreasonable with the questions and essentially just saying that like you don't understand. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like they actually might have a good idea, right? I feel like Jonathan sees the game as a whole, but the game's not a whole, right? So like he sees it as a finished product in a sense. I don't know. And it all comes together and you'll finally see what it'll look like. But like, that's just not the case, you know? So yeah. But anyways, yeah, Mark was the voice of reason. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even like a dev meg. Jonathan was being like seriously pretentious, literally like actually, and just rude. He's like, you don't understand. That's not how it's going to work. I didn't feel that, so I think it's okay. Like, seriously. Like, and the stuff he said just wasn't true. He was like, I had no issues with gear in the campaign. I had no problems with white mobs in the campaign. I had no issues with currency in the campaign. And that is just not true. Like, yeah. But it was as if there were no other options. You know what I mean? But towards the end, he did start acting a little bit more reasonable. So whatever. We'll see what happens, right? See what happens. What did I have on my E now? I don't have conductivity anymore. But anyways, oh, I'm out of intelligence. Oh, that's fine. Honestly, conductivity is like, I've been using it that much. Yeah. So Bentu, the recombinator can be super clutch. Like let's say I take 2 weapons here, right? Let's say I want the increased physical damage on this, and I want the physical flat damage of this. I can go to the recombinator, put these in. Oh, this one's corrupted, so it doesn't work. But I can pick. Like I want this physical
Sort of thoughts
damage.
at the end.
Mark's our savior, essentially. Jonathan, towards the end, was a bit more reasonable, but he handled it really badly for most of it. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to really say.
I think it's a small W.
Like I think
But
towards the
I
end,
still don't think the
yeah.
game is not going to be
Lightning
anything like
damage,
BOYYYYY.
accuracy, and I can recombinate it. No, I mean I don't expect it to be, but dude, Jonathan definitely was like lashing out, man. He was just saying no one knew, no one sees it, my vision. I had a good time, and that's good enough. You're wrong. I'm right. Mark's the
Yeah,
savior.
but I still think like the overall game will still be slow like it is now in the long term.
Yeah, but if they give you options to like, I don't know, it's just so early, dude. I don't know. It's so early. I don't know what they want it to look like. I expect just a slower PoE1. That's really it. I think Jonathan has a very different idea of what he wants PoE1 to look like, but Mark seems to, you know, want it different, but still have the same like heart. Yeah, I don't know.
Get me on the team.
Get him on the team.
I'm
Yeah.
John's right hand man.
Yep. Yeah, you got that, boss. You got that. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Mark, it sounded like Mark was gonna push a good update or few in the next like week or so. So, you know, we'll see. Pancake is here. We do have Pancake. Pancake's a legend. Look at this guy. The God Pancake.
I think I came in like halfway through the interview, but did they talk about like 1-button builds or anything?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like combos?
Yeah, slightly. Like, but honestly, it kind of ended with like Jonathan saying he didn't experience that. He literally said white mobs didn't require a combo to survive. Yeah, and that's kind of where it ended. Like, I mean, because Azarian was just, I took it as flabbergasted. Like John legit said like all the issues that people are complaining about, for the most part, weren't issues he experienced.
My other like group of like PoE1 friends are all talking in the chat or in our Discord, and they're all thinking that he plays literally by as he goes through the map. He full clears the map. He picks up every item on the map that drops. When he gets full, he teleports to town, disenchants it all, and then rinse repeats. So he's like, you know, in a map for hours essentially, just picking up everything and disenchanting it all.
Patrick, if
you did that, you would have a ton of stuff.
Dude, I did that because I was broke. I essentially went throughout the whole map and disenchanted
all of the whites.
I didn't do whites. I did blues and yellows though, and I even sold some whites for money. I did that, and I was still dirt poor most of my campaign. Yeah, because like I was stuck at a wall for like 6.5 hours, 7 hours. I literally couldn't progress, so I went and just got levels in more currency to try to craft something. And when I finally crafted a decent weapon, I just blew through it. I literally was stuck for like 7 hours, and like I know what to do, you know, essentially, to like be stronger. Yeah, like I just had a totally different experience. Yeah, like I actually was picking up every blue, every yellow that I could, and I even picked up some whites to sell them. I'm not even kidding you. So I can gamble, you know?
I think it would be reasonable for Jonathan to be a full clear as a dev, right? That's reasonable.
Yeah. But what he
he's
thinks is a
definitely, like-
lot might not actually be a lot. Like, what if to him, like 5 regals is a lot? Like, I know that sounds weird, right? Just an example. But like realistically, like you want like 20, 30, 40 regals by the end of act like 3 normal, so you can at least craft a bunch of gear, at least try to. But what if like 5 Regals is a lot to him? 10 Regals is a lot to him. It's all kind of, I don't know. It's like his perspective.
It's all personal basis.
Yeah, it's just like personal. Like that really could be enough in his eyes. Like it really could be. What was I doing? Mark said that they are working on decent patches. Like he said that there are things that they've been working on that they want to push in like the next week. So maybe there'll be some good changes. Subjective. Yeah, like it really is. Because some people might love it. Seriously. Some people might. I bet you there are people that love the difficulty, but I bet you that is far lower than those who enjoy it. I really do. But Bentu said, would you say this is the same as Elden Ring? Get good or deal with it. The Souls games are meant to be difficult. I just think it's a totally different genre, Bentu. Like, I just do. Like, if you're wanting... Yeah, I don't know. Like, those are just 2 different games. I don't go into Dark Souls expecting a chill time, you know? Like, the whole point of the game is you die to bosses, you explore, you get loot, and it's, like, all skill issue. That's the whole point of the game. That's not what an ARPG is. Especially Path of Exile, like, to an extent, right? That's like not what it is. So, yeah. Expedition. Run it back. Jonathan, I got hope. I got hope, Jonathan. Hi, sweetheart. I got hope Jonathan will come back stronger. I do. Like I said, towards the end, he seemed to take a little step back for whatever it's worth, you know? So, gotta hope. And Dask says, hey, Matt, can you ask the dev to boost me? Thanks. Holy crap. Hopefully you just sent that, Dask. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Dask. What's up, Dask? How you doing? What's up, Dask? Dude, if you can't boost yourself, that's a you issue, buddy. All right? Get with the times. Oh! Get with the times. Get with the times. Get with the freaking times, bucko. Normal difficulty made it look like a bound, but I just cleared Cruel in less than a day, and it's fine, I think. Yeah, I had a much easier time with Cruel than I did normal, Knock. 100%. I think in normal, your character level is just so low that like most skill points you get, like or passives you get, just like don't really do anything because your stuff is just so low level. Right? Like I didn't have a problem in Cruel, but in normal, I struggled hard. Seriously, I struggled hard. But Cruel, I didn't really struggle. But at that point, that's because like I had okay stuff. I'm like level 30, right? Like you start having a lot more passives involved. Also, Knock, I got the Haste Aura mob, and he owns, dude. He owns. But I was gonna ask you, if I want a higher level one, do I just need? Like, technically, if I caught him at, like, item level 75, is he technically item level 75 Bob HP? Is that how that works? Like, if I got an eye level 82 mob with Haste Aura, would it give me more haste? Or if I had 2 mobs with Haste Aura, would it stack them? Only the gem. Yeah, I'm having bitrate issues over there, Isabel. Unfortunately. So it might be a little bit behind. Or you might not be live on there, technically. One of the others. Yeah. With YouTube, I don't know. I just randomly have bitrate issues, unfortunately. I don't know why. I don't know, Bentu. You actually don't know. I don't know. If you can put it in there, there's a chance it does. I clicked live and it didn't go all the way. Okay, yeah, it's probably just delayed. Yeah, good comms. Yeah, it's just probably my bitrate issue, Isabella. That's all. Unfortunately. Only the gem determines the gem level it is. Endo 2 haste don't work. Sad, dude. Sad. Yeah, the haste aura owns though, 100%. It's nice. You get like 10% move speed buff. Attacks are definitely faster. I get a 0.2 attack speed increase, which is pretty massive.